What's up, folks? Welcome back to the stream. We're live with T5S2 Pod 13 Finals, lucky number 13. And we have two players that we've been watching a lot in Pod Finals recently over here in, I guess not very appropriately, the red. This is Alakar playing pure Tzeentch. You may see pure Tzeentch in blue, but not today. We're gonna wear red today. Over here in the blue, in truth, is gonna be Devin playing Necrons. We've had both of these lists on stream recently. Just put their clocks on. You don't forget to start your clock if you're playing.
Oh yes. I'm blue player.
What's up, everybody? Oh yeah, let's get some predictions going on in chat.
Scarabs. They're so much fun.
All right, 10 minutes chat. So I apologize a little bit beforehand if my voice is hoarse. I was at a convention all weekend doing demo games, so I did a lot of talking. We're a little tired, voice a little tired, and I streamed, in addition to that, a ton over the weekend. I streamed basically every day. I think I streamed some Dark Tide, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because the Dark Tide beta was this weekend. The VODs are live. If you're a subscriber, if you want to go check those out, I'm going to be doing some videos about it, and I'll put those VODs. I think I'll put the VODs up on the TacticalTortoiseTV YouTube sometime this week, so they're up a little bit earlier than normal. But that game's freaking sick, dude. So, yeah, that's why we're a little hoarse today. But I don't know. I think it gives me sort of a gravelly gravitas, right? So maybe people will take my commentary more seriously this time around. But we have over here on the red side of the table a very interesting Tzeentch list, and one that we basically talked about last week on Tactical Tuesday when I got Liam Vissel on to discuss his undefeated record at one of the largest events of the weekend, the Hanseatic Alliance Open. And this is a very similar style coming out of Alakar today. Exclamation point lists in chat, everybody, if you want to follow along with me as we read through some of these lists.
So you can crystal and then you're done.
So this, before I get too far, chat, I'm gonna use my quiet mouse or less. Just notice I'm making a lot of noise. There we go, chat. This list is bringing a battalion detachment coming out of Tzeentch. This is a Cult of Time detachment. So not typically a little bit different than the normal Cult of Duplicity or Cult of Magic that we often see. Cult of Time does get to regenerate models back into unit coherency. So they can regenerate infantry specifically. So most likely they're going to be trying to get Scarab Occult Terminators back into their units. But if you ever don't kill a Rubric Marine, they could be jumping back into play. We have Ahriman in that detachment, an Exalted Sorcerer with the Cult of Time special relic, the Hourglass of Manat.
You're not going to be nice and
this gives him basically an automatic resurrection. So the first time he's destroyed at the end of the current phase, he pops back up. No rolling required, he just has D3 wounds remaining. So significantly better than using a stratagem for it, but it is a whole relic, so it makes a ton of sense. And then we have an Infernal Master, last but not least, with the Umbralific Crystal. Now, the Exalted Sorcerers are a little bit stronger in melee than the other Tzeentch characters, than the Standard Sorcerers or the Infernal Masters. They're kind of, I believe, a hybrid between kind of a Chaos Lord and a Sorcerer. Yeah, so he's coming in. He's weapon skill 2, 5 attacks. He has a reroll 1 Zora for core units, and I think he's got a choice between a Force Staff and a Prospering Khopesh. I think he has both. So he just gets to swing with whatever he wants. So, I mean, it's an appreciable melee profile, but that does let him get stuck in at least once, and he gets a free roll, basically, because you can kill him, and he'll just stand back up at the end of the phase. We have 3 units of Rubric Marines, all with their icons. Soul Reaper cannons in those units. All of them of 2 of 6, 1 of 5, excuse me. A unit of Scarab Occult Terminators in the elite slot. I think as we're expecting, Scarab Occult Terminators definitely the powerhouse of the Thousand Suns Codex. This is where all the damage comes from. out of these guys and their enormous Deca cannons. They have 2 Hellfire missile racks and 2 Soul Reaper cannons on the heavy weapon models. Usually kit those to the same models just so that they all of your damage output's concentrated in a few guys, so you have a lot more ablative wounds on your standard loadouts. There are then 7 additional Terminators with Inferno Combi Bolters, so an AP2 Combi Bolter, as well as a Sorcerer in the unit. This guy bringing nothing in particular, actually. All right, fair enough. So in total, the unit is going to be firing 4 Inferno Combi Bolter shots. If we wombo combo them all out, which might be a little tough, Alakar is starting with 0 CP this game, but we can spend a CP to make them give them an additional shot with all of their Inferno weapons. So they could be firing a grand total of 35 shots from their Combi Bolters, plus each Soul Reaper cannon's firing 5 shots, at Strength 6 AP3. And then the 2 Hellfire racks are going to be shooting 2 sort of, I guess, a little bit lesser of a crack missile. It's a Strength 8 AP2 D3 damage missile. They can get +1 Strength on their weapons from the Infernal Master. They can use +1 to wound from Wrath of the Wronged so they're mostly Strength 5 or Strength 6, wounding basically the entire game on 4s with that +1 to wound, and then they can source +1 to hit and rerolls to hit from Presage and the nearby Exalted Sorcerer. So they can fire, if you pump a ton of stratagems into them, they can fire an immense number of times. And it's all 1 damage attacks, so generally speaking, damage reduction and similar effects like that are actually not going to be not going to keep you safe. And they can also they're also relatively high AP. The core of the unit is AP2. The Soul Reaper cannons are AP3, and it adds up pretty quickly. It looks like we have these guys top side for Alakar today, making a brick of Rubric Marines and Chaos Spawn down in the bottom. Now, that's not the entirety of the list, because we do have that unit of 5 Chaos Spawn in a fast attack slot of that battalion detachment for Alakar. These guys are just hyper efficient for Thousand Suns. They have kind of a wacky profile, but Thousand Suns can spend a CP to give them +1 attack and choose what their mutation does. Normally, they roll randomly what their weapons do once they get into melee, but Thousand Suns have a little bit more control over that. We also have a Singleton Chaos Spawn, who's just going to be doing some screening in the back here. And in addition, a Vanguard detachment coming out of Chaos Demons. So this is sort of the new upgrade to the Thousand Suns list with the release of the Chaos Demons Codex. And according to some people, has actually placed it at what may be one of the best list archetypes in the game, between all of these attacks from the Rubric Marines and the Scarab called Terminators, and the resilience that they bring, since they do get +1 save against 1 damage weapons, and can stack that with Armor of Contempt. We can ally that with the damage powerhouse, the literal fire hose of damage that are Tzeentchian Flamers. So we have a Change Caster, an Exalted Flamer, and 3 units of Flamers, all of 6 in that detachment. So each of these Flamers, I'm sure you've seen them. If you've seen them, if you've watched the channel recently, you've seen them on the channel before. Since I've been playing 18 of them, and we have a lot of players who have put 18 of them in their lists. They're ridiculously efficient for 25 points a model, 3 wounds with a 3+ save against ranged attacks, and D6 +3, Strength 5 AP2. Auto-hitting Flamer attacks per model. So the entire unit's going to be firing 6d6 plus 18 attacks at a 12-inch range, automatically hitting. You can get +1 Strength, which is going to be very relevant in this matchup. This is probably the matchup that you really love this guy, the Exalted Flamer. Gives a 6-inch aura +1 Strength. He's also a pretty good shooter himself. He's got either 3 damage shots or 2d6 Strength 6 AP2 Flamer, so sort of a little bit of an upgrade to the standard Flamer profile. And then with the Infernal Flame Psychic Power that the Change Caster has, you can get +1 to wound, and the Change Caster can give them reroll 1s to wound. On average, a buffed unit of Flamers basically kills a tank with 1 shot, which is pretty gross. Now that +1 strength on the Flamers is going to be very relevant. It does improve the strength of their gun, because their gun is based on the user's strength. So it brings them to strength 6, and given that, we'll start talking about Devin's army in a sec here, given that his army is majority toughness 5, that means that it essentially is going to be a 6-inch aura plus 1 to wound against almost every profile that Devin has here. It's majority toughness 5 and toughness 3, which are the two toughness cutoffs where that break between strength 5 and strength 6 really matters, and that's enormous. So the damage output from these units is insane. The downside, I think, for Alakar is that he's going to be doing a lot of damage all at once, but the question mark is whether or not he can one-shot any of Devin's units, because Devin does have that reanimation protocol that's going to be bringing them back. So Devin, as we can see here, has a ton of Scarab Swarms and a ton of these Scorpic Destroyers, and it is possible for the Flamers to one-shot them, but the question is whether it's likely. And once if they don't get one-shot because their objectives secured, they're most likely retain control of the objectives that they're holding. They'll pull out of range or line of sight of future shots, and then they'll reanimate some of their models on top of that as well. So we'll see if that... We'll see how well these Flamers can do against these big units of Necrons. And so far in this event already, I know that Devin has beat one Demon player because it was me. I went down to Devin in a very exciting game. So we'll see if that happens again here. If he's able to get through the Flamers one more time. Wow, 92% for Tzeentch Flamers, chat. Hot damn. Now we'll talk about Devin's list briefly here. This is mostly sort of standard Necron fare. It is coming out of the Obsec Dynasty, so Eternal Conqueror is relentlessly expansionist. Everything gets objective secured, so they can steal your objectives really easily, and a 6-inch pregame move. We have, obviously, the Silent King and the Supreme Command. Don't really have to mention him too much. He's here all the time. Looks like we're rolling to go first. Devin with a 3. Alakar with a 4. That is a huge deal for Alakar. Devin can get a huge glut of points right off the bat, especially in this mission, if he's able to take the first turn. If we have Alakar going first, that is going to be much tougher. All right, so as Devin plans out his pregame moves, yeah, so basically the downside of this list, especially on a chess clock, is that you do get basically a deployment and then 2 movement phases in a row before you get to do anything. They're just going to shuffle his whole army around here because everything has that relentlessly expansionist. Now, if Devin was able to go first, illustrator on here. If Devin was able to go first, he could push his models up and then pregame move them onto this objective. Because Alakar didn't elect to Risen Rubricate any of his Rubric Marines on that objective, actually he couldn't, I don't believe, because I don't think he had enough. I don't think it's. The Tomb Blades would have automatically taken that objective, and that would have allowed them to use perform the Ancient Machinery's action on it, which would score Devin an immediate 4 points as soon as his first turn was completed, and mean that he doesn't have to perform that action on that far objective anymore. It's a little bit tough because we're going to see 10 Scarab Cult Terminators there who are themselves objective secured. So Devin, now that Devin's going second, he's going to have to get basically 11 models or more on that objective to attempt that Ancient Machineries. So that's going to be a really tough ask for him unless Alakar starts losing models wholesale here, which is unlikely. But we'll see how he does. That Ancient Machinery is going second oftentimes gets cut to an 8-point primary because you get 2 objectives in the center, but not all 3. If you go first, you basically get all 3, and it's almost guaranteed 12. Pretty good secondary. And the reason for that is that the full army objective secured makes it complete in 1 turn. Otherwise, it would take them a full battle round to complete, so your opponent has a chance to kill the unit before the objective's done. But because everyone's objective secured, everyone can do it in one go. So in our battalion detachment here for Devin, we have a Catacomb Command Barge, pretty standard build. He's got the Voltaic Staff, so a Tessling ranged attack, as well as Enduring Will, -1 damage. A Chronomancer with the Veil of Darkness to teleport a core unit with him once per game. 2 Scorpic Destroyer units with 6 models apiece. 3 units of Canoptic Scarab Swarms, 9 models apiece. Now, one thing that we've often been seeing more recently here is actually including some reanimation technology with these guys. So we see Canoptic Reanimators, which give them +1 to the reanimation protocols rolls. We also occasionally see Tomb Spiders to repair units back into these Scarab Swarms. Devin, I think, has just elected to take more Scarab Swarms, which is fair. Yeah, he does have a Technomancer. Although I don't know if the Technomancer can repair the Scarab. I think he requires core units. I'm gonna look that up real quick, chat. He does require core units, so he cannot repair the Scarab swarms. But he can repair the destroyers, which is important.
Do his thing. Everybody else is happy. All right. Do your worst.
And then moving on from there, we have 5 Canoptic Wraiths, a very quick unit that can run and grab objectives aggressively. Some Tomb Blades, which are going to be used to perform actions. A unit of 7 Locust Destroyers, 1 Heavy Destroyer, and everyone else just with their Gauss Cannons. And then the Silent King, like we talked about before. So, pretty standard Necron list, leaning really heavily onto the Destroyers. And also the Canoptic Scarab Swarm. So we're basically hoping that we're going to overwhelm our opponent in wounds. And if they don't have the ability to kill all of the wounds that you have, you're just taking their objectives away. And there's basically no way to score.
I'm just going to keep a tally going for your no prisoner wounds.
Yes.
Oh, and then my protocols you had should probably reveal those. Sudden Storm is the always active. Vengeful Stars is the turn 1, so Vengeful Stars will be extra AP on 6s to wound for shooting. And Sudden Storm will be plus 1 movement this turn.
Alakar looking like he's going to be keeping things relatively cagey this turn. No sense in moving out against the ranged battery that the Silent King has here. Necrons can be a little bit light when it comes to shooting, especially if you're focusing on things like Scorpic Destroyers. The Silent King definitely bucks that trend. He has a ton of really relevant ranged attacks, and he could probably knock out most of those Chaos Bond by himself if he got the line of sight on them. But also we have these Locust Destroyers. You don't have a particularly long-range weapon, only 24. But you don't want to be out in the open anyway, especially because they have a Veil of Darkness in the bank, so that unit can deploy, can redeploy somewhere exciting. So for secondaries here, Alakar has taken Raise the Banners, which is a good one. Essentially, you want to be able to table the Necron player as quickly as possible, so taking a secondary like Banners forces them to have to come try to grab your objectives away. Otherwise, the Necron player can just sort of hole up in the middle of the table, give you something stupid to chew on, and then try to score 12 points every turn and win on their secondaries. But if you have Banners ticking up every turn, they actually have to engage with you. And that just gives you the opportunity to kill your opponent. So what we're going to be doing here is trying to get our Psychic Interrogation off, which is Alakar's second spell. Second secondary, excuse me. He can use Cabal points to make that an undeniable interrogation. Normally, the Silent King does have a deny and a potential 4+ deny stratagem, but the Thousand Suns can get around that pretty easily. And then we're going to try to cast a Temporal Manipulation to run him backwards, so he's not quite in danger from the Silent King's guns, because he'll be running back to the character protection of his friends in the ruin. Last but certainly not least, we have no prisoners, which is basically a no-brainer against Necrons, or at least against the Necron list that's similar to this. Because it has so many wounds, each of the Scarab Swarms is 4 wounds apiece, plus all of the Scorpic Destroyers, plus reanimating models that can be killed again for additional damage. Devin is basically just accepting that he's going to get 15 points up on that secondary. But relying on the fact that Necron secondaries are so strong that you can typically still win the game, even if your opponent is up points. Devin on his side of the table, he does have Ancient Machineries like we talked about, so 4 points that every round that he completes the action on a new objective outside his deployment zone, so the 3 in the middle, essentially, to get 12. He has Code of Combat, which is going to incentivize the Silent King to get up close and personal, get some shots down. Now, without the teleport from the Cult of Duplicity Psychic Power, because Alakar is in Cult of Time, he is going to be a little bit safer than normal, so he can actually play a little bit more aggressively and shoot at people. Otherwise, he would be having to screen very aggressively, because if the Scarab Terminator unit got a beat on him and Alakar had the resources to start shooting with all the damage that they can bring to bear, they could potentially knock out the Silent King early and make that Code of Combat really difficult to score, but I don't think Devin's quite so worried about that. We do have the Umbrellific Crystal, so we can do a redeploy once per game, but we don't have it repeatable like we normally would in a Cult of Duplicity army. Treasures of Eons, excuse me. is the last secondary going to score Devin points for holding more of the objectives in the center as well. Just got to run units out, feed units into the Thousand Suns army, score a bunch of points for holding objectives, hopefully complete some actions, and then say go every turn. Easy peasy.
Okay, so
I think the Necron Army of Renown will see massive play. I don't think yet it is like Crusher Stampede, no. Crusher Stampede was hugely transformative to Tyranids. Because the faction was old and didn't really have any other real like super effective game plans. So they it was a really big deal. You sort of had to play it in order to remain competitive with Tyranids. It was also insanely powerful. It gave you some of the most powerful stratagems probably that have been printed in 9th edition. The Necron Army of Renown is nowhere near that. And Necrons already have a different game plan that is already very effective. So they're not... I think if Necrons weren't in the position that they are right now, which is where they're one of the most effective factions in the game, because they have a really, really consistent game plan with their standard objective secured list, then we may see the Destroyer cult played pretty often, or the Cult of Annihilation, I should say. Given the fact that we're not in that position, I don't think we'll see it played super often. I do think that it's an interesting alternative, though. I don't think it's like non-competitive. I think that it's fine. And I think that if you're a Necron player and you're feeling burnt out of playing Obsec Dynasty, I think you can still win tournaments and win games with Cult of Annihilation. I don't think it's bad for sure, but probably not like particularly transformative. Is there any downside to taking more than 25% of an army as Chaos Demons? There's not, actually. They get Agent of Chaos as called out. What army do I play? Yeah, I'm mostly main Tyranids, but I have been playing Chaos Demons. I played a little bit of Tau earlier, a couple months ago as well. I have a Tau army, but it's mostly in boxes, and I kind of can't wrap my head around that faction very well. So I'm about a 90% Tyranid player, and then I dabble in other stuff. I did play Tyranids against Alakar last week, and he took me down. I felt the power of the Flamers, and I think it's going to take a reconsideration of how Tyranids build their lists in order to play against Flamers. I don't think that just relying on Tyranid warriors is going to do it anymore. So Alakar here measuring his deep strike screening very carefully. He is worried about that Veil of Darkness coming in behind his units and getting shots into his more what's the word? Vulnerable units. He also doesn't really want to lose these rubric units too quickly because they do provide him to Kabbalistic ritual points. And if you lose them too early, you actually, your game plan kind of falls apart because you are really trying to get those undeniable spells and automatically casted spells off every turn to make your game plan very consistent. Obsec Dynasty is Necron's actual Army of Renown? Yeah. It's an Army of Renown that doesn't give you any stratagems, but it gives you the best sub-faction abilities in the game, for sure. Definitely. I think the real powerhouse is how well Objective Secured combos with the Necron secondaries. Like, both of them are powerful. They're both very powerful abilities together, but when you combo them, it's insane. Like the ability to steal objectives away and then complete ancient machineries on them, or to really easily score treasures of eons is both very important. Looks like we're in psychic phase here.
Rerolls.
Yeah, so we have love this pre-position from Alakar. He's made a little bit of a bunker for his Exalted Sorcerer, ran the Exalted Sorcerer out, completed a psychic interrogation, and then undeniably, or completed it undeniably. Ahriman's back here, uses Temporal Surge to run the Exalted Sorcerer back.
I don't think anything else matters. Presage, sure.
Best kind of players are those who play favorites, not caring about the meta. I mean, they're different, I think, right? I do think that sort of playing meta, or I shouldn't say playing meta, but I do think that like playing flexibly and switching to what's good actually is a skill in of itself. Because, new codexes in 40k oftentimes will operate very differently from one another. And if you're always playing whatever codex is new, then you have to be like an extremely flexible player. So that some of these professional players, right, that can play. One day they'll play Adeptus Sororitas, the next day they'll play Harlequins, the next day they'll play Tyranids, based on the metagame of a particular event or based on what's good at a particular time. And that's a very impressive skill to me, personally. How do people keep up? Usually they pay other people to paint their models. The people who play so many different models, chat, are not are typically not painting their own.
Zero chance that I hold the center objective on the first turn.
No.
To get 12 points. So yeah.
It's not happening.
Necrons don't need to commit super hard in the center now since Alakar didn't commit. Yeah. To be fair, Alakar also doesn't want to commit hard because he doesn't want to lose the attritional battle against Necrons. You need to kill the Necrons. You need to kill the Necrons, right? And if he pushes super hard and loses a bunch of stuff, that's going to be super difficult for him. Because Devin has these Locust Destroyers, which actually are not as common in Necron lists as I think they should be. I think Locust Destroyers are actually a really solid unit. Because he has them in his army, anything Alakar sends to the middle can get killed without the committal of melee units. And if Alakar sends like a big tanky unit, like for example his Scarabicol Terminators, between the application of Locust Destroyers and Scorpex, which are all in range, he could lose, if not the entirety of that unit, he could lose most of that unit, and that is an insane blow. So Alakar doesn't want to push that fight in the center until he's sure that he can sort of deal some crippling damage to his opponent.
And if Scarabs get into Flamers, it's usually a dead unit of Flamers.
It is unfortunate that you have so many attacks.
Yep. And you're saving through.
Unizombo, can you still do the Congo with Tyranids? I don't know what that means, chat, honestly. Like, can you make your Tyranids dance? You can do whatever you want with your models.
I want to send the Tomb Blades. Movement 14 base. I think 16.
Players playing Imperial Fist or Raven Guard or Giga Chads. Players winning with Imperial Fist or Raven Guard are Giga Chads. Players just playing them are, I don't know, up for a rough time.
T5.
Boo. If you want like an 8 from there. I could just send the Tomb Blades up to kill the Exalted Flamer.
Seems unlikely, to be honest.
They're only one attack a guy, and that's not ideal. So I'd have to peel a few wounds off with shooting, which is...
Is he going to charge the Exalted Flamer with 3 Tomb Blades?
So that's not insane.
What is this game plan, chat? That seems so unlikely. So the downside of the Tzeentch demons here, for those who don't know, if we look at their profile characteristics, they have a 2 saving throw characteristics. That's because they have demonic invulnerability saves, which is a mechanic out of the Demon Codex. They have an unmodifiable 3+ save against ranged attacks, but if you get them in melee, they're significantly easier to kill. That reduces to a 6+ save against melee attacks. So I think what Devin's trying to do here, because his opponent has very little chance of saving in melee, he's going to try to get the Tomb Blades in and punch the Flamer. The downside is that his models are only strength 4.
My monitor just kind of crapped out. Could you pause the clock? I can only figure this out.
Sure.
Sorry.
Devin's having some
I had that happen to me
technical
an
issues.
hour ago. My monitor started.
I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah, Devin is not improving his strength in any way. So he would need 5s to wound with 3 attacks. Seems unlikely, to be honest. He does have his particle beamers if he can get them in range. Now the Exalted Flamer is character protected currently, so the Tomb Blades would have to run to a position where they're not closer to any other units. I imagine these Chaos Spawn may give him some trouble if they have to go in straight to get that charge. The Exalted Flamer can then overwatch them with an auto-hitting Strength 6 AP2 Flamer, which probably kills 1 Tomb Blade, and then he only is attacking with 2. They deal, on average, probably 3 damage in melee, so then they would have 2 attacks and have to fully convert them to kill that Flamer, and you just lose the Tomb Blade unit. So that feels real bad, Honestly, I would be shocked if Devin committed to that game plan. I think it's sort of impossible. But, you know, whatever it is. Whatever.
Nope, still it's only 2. So those 2 can shoot.
Alakar needs to go ham, but doesn't. You don't need the Tzeentch playstyle. Yeah, so Alakar, he has his 2 flamer units hiding in the ruins back here. The flamers are incredibly dangerous, but only have. So it looks like we're trying to cut some lines of sight with the Scarab Swarms to charge into the flamers without being in line of sight. The flamers, obviously, they're just like we talked about with the Exalted Flamer. Very similarly, the flamers' real strength is in Overwatch, or one of their strengths can be in Overwatch, because they automatically hit, so they're just going to shoot they just get a free round of shooting into you with no penalty, essentially, if you let them Overwatch. So putting the majority of your unit out of line of sight means that you're going to cut down the number of flamers shooting at you. Yeah, Devin definitely doesn't want to take a large number of flamers hiding behind this line of sight blocker. And I think Alakar is going to kick himself a little bit here for not having a flamer within 6 of the Exalted Flamer, because if he gets engaged by Canoptic Scarabs, even if they charge something else to try to get the pile in and consolidate into the flamers actually do some significant damage back to them with melee attacks, given that they have 3 or 4 attacks apiece, and the Exalted Flamer can make them wound on 2s by increasing their strength to 6. But because we have the flamers, while they're very dangerous, their threat range isn't particularly high. Because they move 12 and shoot 12, which is good, and they can advance and shoot, which is, it's very solid, but in terms of a ranged unit, it's not huge. So Devin is, for the most part, out of range to really attack. So Alakar doesn't really have any options to alpha strike. That's not really what Thousand Suns do, unless Devin gives him really good deep strikes into him, which I don't think he's going to do. So Alakar's going to keep it cagey and basically just set up so that anything that goes into the center he's going to kill, and then from there he can push farther forward. The Thousand Suns unit tends to be kind of slow and ponderous because they're just moving around and shooting. They do have teleports to get them across the table, but that's it. The Tzeentch are much faster and more maneuverable. And then we do have the Changecaster and the Tzeentch Flamers, the third Tzeentch Flamer unit in Deep Strike. So those guys are going to come in as well. So Alakar really needs Devin to open up some holes for him that he can exploit. We'll see what he's going to do. Is he going to commit to this plan where these Two Blades charge someone? I think what he may do is he has the Chronomancer's Chronometron buff on the Canoptic Scarab, so he's going to try to get a free reroll charge there. If he connects with the Scarabs into the Flamers, they have enough attacks that the Flamers' save in melee is so bad that they will actually kill a bunch of them. So what I think we're trying to do here is for the Tomb Blades to eat the Overwatch from the Scarabs, probably die, and then the Scarabs hopefully make a 9-inch rerollable charge into the Flamers. It's very aggressive, though. You are sort of playing into what the Thousand Suns want you to do, which is push your guys really far forward so they can kill them. But if he makes that charge, an unoverwatchable charge into the Flamers, with the Scarabs, he will kill a bunch of them, and they're probably the most dangerous units to him in Alakar's army, so Devin will be happy about that.
These guys will just tuck up.
Thinking of starting a new army, Kelbar. Welcome to the game. Not sure if you should hold fire for Imperial Guard or pick between Beast Snaggers or Speedwaz. Your Space Marines have not been making a dent in the local meta. Been thinking of using them as White Scars. I do like White Scars. I think White Scars are a pretty strong pick right now. But Space Marines are definitely kind of fighting an uphill battle currently in the metagame. Unless you're one of the supplement chapters. If you're playing like Blood Angels or Space Wolves or something, you have a little bit better of a shot. But those have so many unique units, it's tough to like sort of proxy in a Codex Space Marine chapter as them. I would give White Scars a shot, but I mean, from there, it's sort of whatever you want. I think like Orcs are pretty solid. We don't know where Imperial Guard are going to be. If you have Imperial Guard, you can snap up. I mean, their Codex is probably going to be good because it will be a new Codex. So you can start collecting them now in anticipation of the new Codex. But Orcs are also just sort of solid. Orcs are a little tough to play, though. You have to play so aggressively, and you have to play the fight phase very well.
Swarps will just come in. The annoying jerk bags.
That is kind of how I disagree.
Whereas Death Guard placed in the meta, they're pretty mediocre right now.
Actually, honestly, if
They're
you're
like
trying-
they're sort of an X and 1 faction. Occasionally they go 5-0 and they win events, but it's not super often. But the downside is that they're slow, and they kind of fall prey to things that already kill other Heretic Astartes sub-factions. Heretic Astartes are very are very much about being kind of slow and tanky, and people are already prepared for that style of army right now because that's a lot of the armies in the metagame. And so Death Guard kind of fall prey to that in a big way. They're not that much slower and or tankier than a classic Chaos Space Marine Terminator unit. And if people are ready to kill like a 10, Black Legion Terminators or Emperor's Children Terminators, they can certainly kill 10 Blight Lord Terminators or Death Shrouds. Obar's local meta is Custodes, Death Guard, Tyranids, and Necrons. A lot of armor in that lineup. I think Orcs would be a little tough, especially against things like Custodes and Death Guard, because they don't have they have a lot of melee attacks, but their melee attacks aren't like hugely powerful. So getting through heavy armor with them, especially they have a trouble with AP values in melee. But getting through high armor may be tough for you.
Oh boy, what do I want to do?
And Tyranids kind of outdamage them in a big way, which sucks for them.
Zark will just shuffle up a little bit, just to get that denial a little bit closer.
So Necron's also being relatively cagey here.
Yeah, that'll be that.
Now, what we have to look at as well, chat, is our lines of fire from deep striking units. One thing that we may be able to get an angle on are some of the units around this corner. Maybe I think they may be a little bit defended. So I think the setup so far for Devin has been good. We might be able to get a Locust Destroyer. But what we want to see is if there's a position where we can Umbrellific Crystal a Scarab called Terminator unit to blow up some Locust Destroyers, or to blow up a Destroyer unit.
Cool. Job, Tomb Blades, you did it.
It looks like Particle Beamers shooting down one Flamer. That high volume AP0 shooting is exactly what you want to deal against Flamers. Okay, so here comes the Tomb Blade charge into the Flamers. Alakar electing to spend the Overwatch. Yeah, they can all see.
A rather low 28.
Only 28 hits.
Oh, it's only 28 strength 5 AP2s.
Indeed.
It's not that bad.
Only 28 in Overwatch. They have 6 wounds. I think you'll be okay. Yep, you got them.
That's why. And we are not in range of our buff.
Oh.
You did it.
We
You
don't
killed a
need
unit
to
with
lose.
Flamers. Woo!
I bet you live. I bet you live.
Reviciate, feeling that 18 Flamers is too many, rather have 12 in another squad of Rubrics. Yeah, I think that the people are realizing that. That's sort of a realization that I came to in my Demon games too, is that I think I would rather have like 16 and open some points up for something else somewhere else, because you oftentimes find yourself overcommitting a Flamer unit. You're like, I would like to go kill these 5, whatever, Space Marines or something. Ooh, and we got a 10-inch charge from the Canoptic Scarab Swarms. Thanks to that Chronometron reroll from the Chronomancer, and this is not good for Alakar. He might be kicking himself for putting that Flamer unit so close. That is a lucky charge from Devin, but that's what he needed here to prevent this Flamer unit from dealing some massive damage on Objective 4. Now, the Scarab Swarms will be wounding on 5s. They do have their auto-wounding ability on hit rolls, because they can sort of detonate themselves. And we may see Devin sacrifice 1 here to do mortal wounds to the target. But almost every single one of those wounds that does go through will convert because their save in melee is so bad. That is the big downside of Flamers. It's tough to get to melee with them, but once you do, the unit basically falls over. They also have no way to fall back and do anything. The benefit that Thousand Suns has with them is that Thousand Suns have so many mortal wounds they can deal in the psychic phase that they can oftentimes free them from melee before they are selected to shoot, because you can kill all of the models engaging you in the psychic phase. But a big brick of Scarab Swarms is probably too many wounds for a Thousand Suns army to kill. Scarabs are very effective against Thousand Suns, at least against their Psychers, because they're very efficient points per wound. Yeah, so it looks like 3 automatically hit here. And that is 9 wounds. We'll probably see 2 to 3 Flamers go down. 2 saves, so only 2 Flamers get killed here. And the Flamers do have a pretty decent attacks back onto the Scarab Swarms. They do have 5+ save from the Canomatron currently. But otherwise they're just T3 idiots with a bunch of wounds. Challenge is a Flamer-only army. I just play like 600 points against my opponent. That would be a challenge for sure, chat. 3 Exalted Flamers. It would be like 3 Exalted Flamers, 3 Chariots, and 3 units of Flamers. And then I have to bring like 1 HQ to make it legal, right? I have to bring like... I get 1 Demon HQ, I imagine, to make a legal list. But unfortunately, I would be playing like 1,000 points down. It's fine. What's the worst that could happen? Almost fails the morale. Thanks to that Pyrocaster, we are leadership 8, so that's good. We lost 3 models. Did we kill any Flamers in the swing? Any Scarabs in the swing back? We missed them? Is that right? We did 2 damage. Oh, well, that sucks. Well, you know, it wasn't the best situation for Alakar, but he didn't lose the Flamer unit, and he is going to get 2 of Devin's units for basically the cost of 3 Flamers and a command point. So I think what we see here, I mean, this is the only unit that's going to be in line of sight. We're going to dump a ton of mortal wounds out of them. The Chaos Spawn are going to charge that Flamer unit, or that Scarab Swarm unit, and turn it into soup, and then they're going to pile and consolidate into the objective here. And hold that down to prevent, to force error to move forward and to contest it. Now, the other downside here, and a weakness, I think, in my opinion, of Devin's list, is that we see a lot of Necron lists that sort of front load all of these small utility units like those Tomb Blades. So they have the ability to trade for objectives and essentially trade up, because they are going to steal an objective, they're going to score a ton of points, and then your opponent has to go kill them, and they usually have to commit something more important than the Tomb Blade unit, or a 3-man Scarab Swarm, or a 3-man Ophidian Destroyer Swarm, in order to flip that objective back. Devin doesn't have units like that. He has the 1 Tomb Blade unit, and then everything else he has is a huge Scarab Swarm brick or a Destroyer. So Alakar is... Every one of these turns that Devin feeds something to the center objective to score secondaries, Alakar is just going to pick up a pretty sizable chunk of his army and make some forward momentum that he can use to get into the Destroyer bricks in the late game. So I actually think that is going to be a pretty impactful weakness of Devin's army, that we're going to see make some waves here.
These kinds of deployments, because you can just like start in a teleporter, and it's easy enough for you just to put like a rubric unit up here and make it a pain in the ass for me to get to, or just like a screened character or something.
No, you can't just ignore rules for challenges, chat. You have to play by the rules of 40k.
Honestly, Zarek is gonna kill stuff.
Honestly, like, if you could ignore rule of 3 on Flamers, that wouldn't be a challenge. Like, that list is just insanely strong. If you could, like, fill a Vanguard detachment with 6 Flamer units, like, it's just gravy. They're one of the most efficient units in the game. The downside of Flamers is that you can only have 3 units of them. If your opponent had to continue just to deal with the waves and waves and waves of them, they would die. You could pretty easily fit, if you had to bring like 3 Exalted Zen characters, you could pretty easily fit like 10 units of Flamers in your army. You could bring 60 Flamers. I don't know too many meta armies that can win against 60 Flamers. You just died too quickly. At that point, you don't even have to sort of baby your Flamers anymore. You can just start trading them with people. Like run them, kill a unit of 5 models. They kill the Flamer unit. You get a more expensive unit, and you keep doing that until the game's over. It's a mirror match. There you go. That's the the challenge is to roll more d6 plus 3 attacks than your opponent. The mirror match would actually be kind of fun. The Flamer mirror match is kind of interesting because neither Flamer player really wants to commit first. And you're both playing really cagey with your greater demons because the Flamers are really good at killing them. So it's actually very tactical. It's more tactical than you'd think, the Demon's Mirror. Yeah, you actually don't want to go first, I think, in that matchup. You want to have bottom round 5 scoring so that you can kind of play cagey. Because the Flamers don't like alpha strike very well, especially if you don't have Be'lakor. Be'lakor is like the only way they have to jump across the table early, or at least on turn 1. They can demonically manifest later, but that's screenable. It's screenable by other Flamers, in fact. Yep, so pushing our Soul Reaper cannons out to get some shots into these feisty Scarabs that have engaged Alakar in his deployment zone.
Rates are 14 or 12.
Of course they are.
Yeah. They basically for everything just add 2 to the movement characteristic, unless it's one of the Cryptex or the Scarabs, and then it's just add 1. Oh, hello, Infernal Master.
Infernal Master is going to be running up to do our interrogation this turn.
Well, you hope so.
No, Techno makes a character, right?
He sure is.
And then we can move. Oh, stupid base. Oh yeah, his base
No.
is fucked.
His base is
let's-
fucked. You're good there, you're good there.
No, I just want to see. Okay.
Can you do it from the wall? No.
Behind the wall, but we
No,
can
you
be
gotta come over.
a little bit better back here.
You gotta come to Menhir Land.
Which means Armon wants to. Ugh, that could be iffy. So we'll just move these guys out of the way first. Flamers, we'll just move out of the way.
Basically, I'm trying to make it if you fail warp time, he just eats a Menhir in the face and dies.
Yes. He wouldn't be too happy if he failed warp time, yeah.
It's okay. He would definitely make all his invulnerable saves. I believe in him.
Whatever, and then these guys will just... Again, do I want to... Well, we can't double move them anyway, so yeah, they're gonna do nothing again. Hang out, oh, a little too far up. Yeah.
Big part of the psychic phase in the game is the positioning, because so many of your effects end up hitting closest units. You do have to be very careful on your positioning when you're playing an army like Thousand Suns.
Okay, whatever.
It doesn't look like Alakar is going to be pushing for any long bomb teleports here.
Force me to spend CP. He did.
I do wonder if Alakar was a little bit ooh, hey, big advance for Ahriman. We'll pull that Infernal Master back to safety. Alakar probably, despite the fact that there are Locust Destroyers on the other side of the table, probably behooved by taking it, by having a less heavily terrained map. And maybe a Dawn of War mission, but today, yeah. We got some Necron crystals. I guess it is a Necron army on the Necron map, so, you know, it follows.
There, so screened, and I don't think I want to bring anyone in right yet.
Fair enough.
If we bring them in over here, back here, flame the heck out of these guys. You fly probably, so can't
Yeah, I do
touch
fly.
that. But I guess I can Overwatch. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to Overwatching one thing at the very least. So maybe it is worth bringing
I
him
could
in.
just charge the thing next to them and pile into you.
Well, no, they'd be the furthest out things over here if I was going to put them here.
They still have to be 9 inches away from the Scarabs, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be pretty tough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
basically it's
so we'll just skip that. So Psychic Phase. Let's have some fun. So first, Infernal Master will do his psychic action.
Yeah, he does it on 3d6. He's a special boy.
Yes, let's get me a CP this time.
Nope.
No CP, but we'll get our 3 points.
You mean you don't want to take the double ones and perils? And failed
Do
spell?
not.
Sure about that?
I'll think about it while I do the rest of my turn.
Oh, okay then.
Okay, so I guess we'll do him first. Ooh, that was close, I'm thinking, but yes, he's still.
No, you're fine. We're going.
Okay, Arman's going to start with his Temporal Surge double move with a +1 to cast. That is
Good.
successful.
Yeah, you're good.
So they'll guile
Go hang out over there.
all the distance he can get. Though I think he's pretty much super safe over there, but we'll see. And then Weaver Fates. He'll use his own reroll. Yep, and then we'll use Cabal points, 5 of them.
Yep.
To add 1 to that, which puts it up to a pass.
Sure.
And
Is that
gives
on?
me the losers over here. They kind of need it.
Fair enough.
And then Presage. Successful. Throw that on him too. Give him a fighting chance, so to speak. And
Not only a fighting chance, but a chance in the fight too.
so probably use these guys for the action. So we'll just do Glamour of Tezzeret. Successful. -1 to hit.
Glamour
on
of
those guys.
Tezzeret? That's you can match the gathering
And-
characters coming in here.
So we've got 11 left, so we could do a 3 to use sight and do that. Probably worth it, and then these guys will do 4 if we have it left. So 4, 4, and 3 is 11, which is perfect actually. So 4 points to have green guys get me a CP. They do not perils, yay. And then we'll have Aspiring Sorceress here, cast Gaze of Hate. Or Smite slightly better? Yeah, Smite's slightly better. So they will smite. They will do that for 3 mortal wounds.
So we'll kill a scarab.
And we will spend 4 to add another D3.
Sure.
Which is
Oh.
3 again. Hey.
Brutal. Just peels 2
And
scarab
then
swarms out of
we
that unit.
will have this guy manifest Doombolt. Why would I do that, you say? Well, we'll never find out since he failed the cast, and I don't feel like passing it at this point.
It's 8 more wounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I believe
No reanimation
that's
protocol from the
everything I
smites
wanna
either.
do. Yes, nothing to time flux. So
Shoot me.
shooting. We'll start off with these guys. So that guys are in. Yep. So we'll do 5 bolter shots.
Wow.
Luckily they're re-rolling 1s. Yes, from the exalted.
That was an embarrassing roll. 4 1s and a 2. There we go. That's a
Oh, that was a
conversion.
good conversion.
And
the wound
they'll
roll, not
only
so.
wound with
One.
what are you T3?
3.
So yeah, we'll get 1.
Out of save. Nope, take a wound on a guy.
And the Soul Reaper Cannon. Re-rolling 1.
2s for this one.
2s, excellent. All 5 at your invuln.
Get in the box. Take 3, which will kill him. Oh, right, it's turn 2. I should probably flip this Kamau card. It's Hungry Void, just +1 strength when I charge you. Is that it for their shooting?
Yeah, that's for their shooting. And
Okay,
then we're
just
gonna flamer with the other guy.
Just gotta do the
Oh
reanimate.
yes, reanimate.
It does happen with 1 Scarabase on occasion.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
Switch back to me. We will flamer you with the auto hitting profile, which was a mistake.
Yep.
We do wound with everything though, so
5s.
Yep.
Kill another Scarab. Not reanimate him.
okay. And then this guy will throw a Soul Reaper in.
Yeah.
Just to make sure you don't live. Soul Reaper, so everything there at your.
What about? Get in the stupid box. Yeah, he's not dead.
Okay. Charge phase.
Honor gonna come fight me?
Yeah, I think hopefully just the spawn. Spawn will go in.
Alrighty.
A little risky, but technically.
Did that Soul
I should
Reaper do
have.
4 wounds or 5?
I thought it was 4, because he's
Eight.
T3.
Yeah,
So-
yeah,
Yeah, twos would have wounded.
Gotcha.
yeah.
I was a little
Yeah, you
confused
missed
about
with
that.
one, and you wounded all of them.
Yes. Okay, so 5-inch charge.
I think I'm confused where we're rolling here, chat.
There. Oh wait, do we actually have coherency if we?
Do that. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if you base me, you will, because I'm only on a 40.
Yeah, we need to kill all of you anyways, or it's horrible anyways. So we'll just move into here, base both. Oh, are we gonna lose a guy? That might be a. Let's see here.
You might lose a guy. Can he clear the wall? Is the point?
Yes,
Can
we got it. Okay, we're good.
that guy clear the wall? Yes, he can.
Everything is fine. Even a low charge is fine.
Alrighty.
And yeah, I'm just gonna take the chance and just have them, so they'll fight.
What are you doing? You're gonna roll on the table?
Let's see if I want to. Trying to think of how many attacks I
Oh.
have.
As far as the table,
Yeah, I need to just make sure they die. So 1 CP, so I choose extra attacks, and they'll get an extra attack each on top of that.
I'll be 15.
Do you have any defensive stuff to do?
Nope.
This is probably overkill, but it would be so terrible if you got 12 points.
Honestly, Spawn are really good at screwing up. Like that.
Okay, so 6, 12, 18, 21. Yep, 24 plus 5 is 29, so not great.
This D3's out of the way for you.
Hmm. We are
At least
only
you're getting
charging
on-
one unit in there. Is a little bit
I
spicy,
decreased
chat.
pile in. Let me just.
Oh yeah, you should do that.
Yes.
Could have put the Rubric Marines in, but are a little bit worried about
Over.
shots around this corner. I think especially from the Catacomb Command Barge, he has a good profile at shooting at the Rubrics.
Okay.
Uh,
That would potentially
well,
start
sort
scoring
of
for
phase
Code of
the
Combat
boss
as well,
phase
because he is a
attack.
noble.
I don't want. He kills one. He does not.
Yes. They are buffed. Oh, not as horrible as they usually do.
Oh, you got a wound too.
Yes. On 3s, yeah, pretty terrible.
15?
15 at your invuln, because you have one of those.
15. We do
Fine.
need.
2 damage at least, so.
You got to
Yeah.
do 9
Can't
wounds to
make-
kill me.
I can't.
So I'll just keep
Be
2
crazy.
aside for now.
Oh, that was
Well,
terrible. Yep.
that's
There you
certainly
go.
not
There's the
doing
unit.
it with these 2 effects.
Well, it was scary for a second there, chat, but we got there. So that's gonna clip the Scarab Swarm unit and then allow the Chaos Spawn to stand in the middle objective for a sec.
Okay, so 14.6.
Looks like we're just gonna be pushing them behind the
Yeah, we're
train in the
still-
center.
Oh yeah.
Keep taking a bit of extra. Okay, not touching.
Since the Chaos Spawn are not objective secured, any Necron model that goes to the middle is gonna be
I want you to.
stealing it from them. So there's not really a reason to go to the center.
And that'll be the best we get, and that'll be my turn.
We are on tier down their icons, chat. So the there is an incentive for these players to move across the midline of the table to complete the action. That will get them 4 primary objective points every time they do,
Tend to help me. I hate.
unless their opponent is able to defuse the bomb that they lay.
Where does this take to actually get
That gives Devin a big benefit because objective secured units get a benefit when completing the
25.
action. But Alakar can still push for it with the Chaos Spawn,
5,
the
this
Rubric
guy
Marines, and the
is
Flamers,
26.
especially if he can push one side of the table and
This guy is also
kill a
26.
ton of models on it.
Move 11, 17 with the pile in.
Yeah, so I think here, Devin realizing that Alakar only has 1 unit on
Yeah, I
his
think
home
I'm
objective. Oh, 1 model on his
I
home
think I'm just
objective right
gonna
now.
just
So
walk
if he's trying, if Devin pushes the Scarab Swarms super far, is able to get a couple on that objective, he can actually take it and steal the banner that's there. This objective is going to be tougher. The Scarab Occult Terminators do have objective secured.
the Inferno Master.
We do have the stratagem as well to heroically intervene with the unit, I believe, if they're sorcerer's charged. So I think if the Canoptic Wraiths push too far forward, may actually get engaged by those Terminators. Should be bad for him.
The Barge is going to kill 6 rubrics by himself.
Pretty sedate game so far, chat. A ton of excitement. I think we're both two two kind of slow and turgid Egyptian themed armies hanging on their opposite table quarters. And a bunch of ancient Egyptian zombies fighting. I do wonder if Alakar is going to kick himself for not putting more models on that objective.
At least have that one guy.
He needs the chaos spawn in the back to be screening.
Flip your objective.
He's doing a great job at it right now. I'm so proud of it. Good job. But I do wonder. This is a 6 model unit. I do wonder if he maybe got a little aggressive putting so many Root Brains out in front instead of putting more on the objective. Yeah, part of it's that Devin does have he has a lot of ranged attacks for a Necron army. Often see this many destroyers in a Necron build. So between the Command Barge, the Silent King, and the destroyers, he is kind of forcing Alakar's models back, okay, lest they be shot at.
Alrighty. When we'll be done, we'll go on Wraiths.
We also want to be cutting Devin as much as we can on Code of Combat. It's usually pretty maxable in the late game, but you know there is always a chance that if you can mitigate Silent King's shooting early, force a lot of your casualties to come from the non-noble units, and then if you kill Silent King in the late game before he gets a ton of work done, you can actually stop him from scoring big Code of Combat points. Scarab Swarm's pushing up to the middle here. I wonder if we'll see a charge with them. Basically prevent the forward momentum of the Chaos Spawn. But we are in the age now of 1-inch engagement range. Gonna get shot at there, bud. The extended engagement rule is gone, which means that these Chaos Spawn are gonna be... if Devin pulls his formation here on Objective 4 back, they're gonna be very difficult to engage by the Chaos Spawn through the wall. But fighting over the middle objective is usually where Chaos Spawn want to be. That's kind of their whole thing. I also agree with you, chat. Yep. Time is cute because you have like tankier Scarab Occult Terminators, but I do think Cult of Duplicity is generally the way to go. That's why you typically see Cult of Duplicity in Thousand Suns lists. You don't always see the other cults. Feels like it's mostly either Duplicity or Magic to me. I don't really see the other ones played that often.
Actually, the Barge will put a pile down, so... He's just gonna come shoot at flamers.
Barge trying to pick up some Flamers. He can potentially get a big volume of attacks if his Voltaic Staff goes off. A bunch, which is good. You could charge me with Spawn, which would be stupid. So I'm not going to worry about that. Green guys will just come here and hang out. No, I'm a little bit worried. I wonder if there's a universe where Alakar tries to push for a kill on the Catacomb Command Barge. It's kind of a free roll for Devin. Since it can score Code of Combat, but isn't particularly important to his game plan, unlike the Silent King. But it is susceptible to mortal wounds, especially in the position that it's in right now. And could potentially get knocked out by some big smites. Especially by the Exalted Sorcerer back here. Sorcerer does have Firestorm and Doombolt alongside a Smite, and because the Scarab Swarms over here are out of line of sight, he can actually run himself over to a point where he can get those shots unobstructed at the Command Barge. And if he kills the Command Barge, it's another unit dead, and it's another outlet for Code of Combat dead. This is very useful, if not the most impactful thing yet.
Put some to there. Could teleport there, which I'm actually okay with. Alternatively, you can see him on that angle. Fairly safe. That might not be the best idea. We're just going ahead and advance Silent King, just see what he gets. Not doing anything else this turn, so may as well. He goes 14. Goes 14, get him up to here.
Oh, this is wildly aggressive.
That's
You think Devin is screening
probably
relatively
fine,
well,
actually.
especially if he charges with these Scarab Swarms. If he doesn't, I'd be worried about the Terminator's Umbrella for Crystalling into this area, which is a place they want to be already, because they want to be fighting over Objective 4. And if they just pile on damage onto the Silent King, he probably just dies. Not sure if they entirely kill him on average, but they definitely get close. That's a much safer position for him.
Here.
Doesn't have any targets right now, so advancing isn't that big of a deal for him. He's very far back there, though. I'm gonna use Silent King to screen.
It's only turn 2. We don't need to do this yet. Zarek will just stay where he is. He's not gonna move.
No. Being aggressively in a circle. Fair enough.
I can actually just see them. Actually, if it's fine with you, do you mind if I just not advance Zarek and just stick the menhirs out just to shoot at flamers?
Sure, he's got 24 inches. I don't know. Can he?
24 for him, but the menhirs are 36.
Oh, okay, so they can shoot. Yeah.
If that's fine with you.
Yep, go ahead.
Thank you.
Very nice of Alakar.
Just they can maybe at least do something.
I'm actually
Probably
not sure
gonna
that's
do anything,
that's a take back I would have allowed.
feel a little bit
Were it
better.
up to me. In this case, if the players want to do it, that's fine with me.
Jack Hall, he's got it going for him.
But given that dice are already rolled, don't need to allow that.
There shouldn't be anywhere really
Gentlemanly
for
conduct right there.
Terminators to come. 9. You're good. Yeah, you're not going to fit all Terminator unit.
Maybe I could fit flamers here. I don't think so, but it's close.
Oh, God,
I think
no.
they might be too big.
Yeah, they're going to be too big. We'll just put them back a little bit just to make sure that's not a problem.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, shooting. We'll do the barge into the flamers to start because there's 1 on 2 wounds. May as well make full use of that voltaic staff. Hitting on 2s because I have +1 to hit on himself.
Okay.
Explode once. And 3s to wound you. 3 3-ups.
We have a wounded model here. Ooh.
I'll just go ahead and fail 2 of them.
Awesome.
Ouchie.
Kills 1, puts 1 on the wound. And then we'll do the Tesla cannon. No explodes. Very sad. 1 wound.
Saved.
And Zark's Menhirs. 3s, both hit. 2s, both wound.
Oh no!
Okay, well,
Gets him.
Should have
Awesome.
slow rolled that out, I think.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna take what I can get.
And that's a Code of Combat score. Wow!
Good job, Silent King. You know,
Very bad rolls from Alakar there.
nobody else has
Yeah,
anything
unit.
we can realistically do at this point. You could, in theory, charge me with spawn, so I would rather you
That is
not.
a noof, chat. For sure. Especially since that unit could have shot
the
at the
technology?
command barge.
There
It
he
doesn't
is.
really care about its defensive
It's like
technology
the
either
worst model in the
at
universe.
coming turn.
Okay.
So in addition
yeah,
to
that's
mortal
everything I
wounds that we
think.
could potentially drill into
Everything
him,
else I can really do at this
it
point.
may be
so
that,
machineries in the middle is done. Killed something that the noble was shooting. 3 more treasures.
yeah, oh my god,
Turn.
that was brutal. That Code of Combat ticking up is disgusting there. So yeah, I think that's a big deal. Obviously, that could be a couple extra points of damage onto the command barge, and that in addition to the damage from the Exhausted Sorcerer could
of course, this is the
leave him
one
alive.
turn fails.
Well,
Do
you
I
could-
care enough?
you
Let's
just make
see.
it opt-out.
Yes.
So we're gonna see if we need to Umbralific Crystal.
Fortunately,
Two.
To have basically the same engagement to this unit in the center as we did last turn. With the spawn, the flamer, and all the Soul Reaper cannons shooting at them. At least one Soul Reaper cannon, I think.
okay, movement. I really wish I hadn't wasted Red Squad like that. I really thought they'd not get charged and then not die to this loser.
That's just a bit of bad luck on your part.
Once they got the charge, they were honestly lucky they even survived that turn.
Yeah, those scarabs didn't roll too hot.
Okay, in either case, I need to accomplish something, so these guys are gonna definitely try for another meaningful play
Makes sense.
and head up.
Yeah, I also wonder. I do like this play. I think we
Think
can
about charging the bar, just be where he is -1 damage.
we can engage the Scarabs to the wall. I believe
Trust.
that wall is not particularly thick, and those guys do not have an invulnerable save, so the cast will actually kill a lot of them. If we can charge the Scarab Swarms and kill them, and remove the Catacomb Command Barge, the Chaos Spawn probably die to the Scorpic Destroyers, but at least you do force some movement over there. Looks like Flamers go to the center here. Now, the one thing you have to keep in mind about these Flamer units and engaging around obscuring terrain is that your opponent is going to be trying to make it impossible for you to see them on the swing back. So while you may not, it may behoove you, and this is the reason that the Flamers are so tanky against ranged attacks, is that you typically want to put yourself into as much line of sight of your opponent as possible. So, for example, here, what Alakar is going to do is put everybody on the terrain, which means that while the Necron player can now shoot at him and may do a bunch of damage to the unit with the Locust Destroyer, since they're relatively high volume, any charges at them will automatically be able to be overwatched. And that does mean that, if Devin wants to kill the unit, he probably has to do it in melee, and that is going to start forcing his models out of the terrain there.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
Remember that Alakar does have one additional unit of Flamers in the chamber too, that I think he's going to, load up into one of these ruins and then use them to kind of counterpunch whatever hits this Flamer unit. We should also keep in mind too that the damage output of this Thousand Suns army once the Necrons commit becomes astronomically high, because the Scarab Terminator unit does a ton of damage, but also their psychic powers do immense damage too. Each one of these little units can smite. We can do max mortal wounds with stratagems. We can do additional mortal wounds with Kabbalistic rituals, and we have a lot of Tzeentchian specific psychic powers as well to do damage. So there is a universe where this Canoptic Wraith unit or most of one of these Scorpic Destroyer units gets ripped off before the shooting phase occurs, once they break cover and move out into the center, which is why Devin can't really afford to push for these big 12-point primary turns and try to overload the center objective because he's going to lose too many valuable units too quickly. The downside for Devin here, though, is that he's engaging with his scarabs a turn before his destroyers want to go in, and that does mean that Alakar will get the opportunity to smite at the destroyers. You oftentimes want to ring the destroyers with the scarabs when you're fighting against these psychic heavy armies, because that will bleed all the mortal wounds that they're dealing into the scarabs instead of the destroyers. Troubles, I've already won. I got to commentate games at 40k, and it's friggin' sick. So I apologize. I can't promise you that I won't win in the next 30 minutes because I'm already winning. Hashtag winning.
And for my action, where is the character Technomancer back here?
Thank you, chat. That's how winning is done, alright?
Song dance. Ah, you stupid base.
They're not going for the command barge this turn. I think Devin did very appropriately pull his characters back to the Silent King so that it's much more difficult to interrogate them. I would really like to see a shot on that command barge to try to kill it. I think that the way that Alakar wins this game is that he pushes through objective 4. If he kills everything there, he makes that Code of Combat harder, and if he can start preventing Necrons from scoring it, that forces the destroyers to come out of their little hidey hole. And if that happens, he's in a pretty good place. All he wants to do is have this Scarabocult Terminator unit play the battleship game and roll around and wipe destroyer units off the map with one shooting activation. Especially since, with how cagey this game has been, Alakar's actually just slowly but surely banking command points to wombo combo out the entire Scarabocult Terminator brick. And the more activations of that he gets off over the course of the game, the better he is. The Thousand Suns command points are dramatically more valuable than the Necron command points, because the Necrons don't have too many super impactful stratagems to use, whereas the Thousand Suns certainly do. So, while the cagey game plan is benefiting Necrons from a raw scoring perspective, Tzeentch is sort of building power to combo out in the late game. We do have to make some plays sooner rather than later, though. Alakar's going to run out of time if he plays too cagey.
Salted for, I think, psychic interrogation.
Yes, he will be the psychic interrogation on your Technomancer.
He's good.
All according to design, chat, indeed.
Okay, those guys are there, and that's just white squad. It's hard to say what I'll do with them. If these guys fail to charge, they'll at least block that, so...
I don't really know if you want the Chaos Bond to charge the command barge. Charging the Scarabs, I think, is much better for you, but... Killing the command barge doesn't get you too much. It's nice if you can do it for free, but you'd have to spend a unit of Chaos Bond doing it. I'm not entirely sure they actually kill him, because he can reinforce Quantum Shielding to a 4+ invulnerable save. He's always transhuman, although we can use our mutations to automatically reroll our wound rolls. We could be wounding on 4s, or on 5s rerolling. But you have to get basically 18 wounds through, and that's kind of a tough ask for Chaos Bond to do. Versus Canoptic Scarab Swarm that has no vulnerable save. I feel like it's much better odds. Now, I am curious as to whether or not a single unit of Flamers is going to do enough to clear out this unit. Especially since that if we smite too much, Devin may be able to remove Flamers from the
average anyways, so whatever, we'll make sure
from range of the back models in the Flamer unit, because they didn't advance their move, they just moved. It does mean that they're open to charge, but
these guys are gonna get shot at.
not that exciting.
These guys might as well
Second Flamer unit teleporting in now. May try to cut some lines of sight through the center here, but that does open them up to get touched by enemy, especially the Wraiths. If the Wraiths charge in, you can use Pylon Consolidates to get into melee with them. They're actually just going to get blanked for a turn. That's not really what Alakar wants right now.
Things that can shoot. Destroyer.
Alakar needs to be able to maximize his damage on this coming turn, because if he can force the more impactful units out of the Necron Army to come forward, he needs to kill them immediately.
Relatively short charges.
So playing too aggressively with his Flamers could be
Also, don't forget,
very
These other
painful.
guys being in the way.
The plasma site, there's a 1 in 6 chance he kills one of them, and then I resurrect him over there somewhere with the Technomancer.
Oh, right. That's the order it goes in.
That's why I wanted to roll it last turn.
Well, whatever. We'll just.
Let's get a little bit of a cute,
Yeah, whatever. We'll just count on you.
cute interaction. You can try to Dark Energy Infusion one of your Scorpic Destroyers to death, and then bring him back and get a little bit of an additional movement from it. Basically the same Pact of Flesh combo we see with Chaos Space Marines. So they kill a model with their Master of Possession to get +2 to cast, and then use that +2 to cast a Pact of Flesh and bring that model back in front of the other guys. You can essentially move a model from the back of the unit to the front of the unit, and you get the unit as a total about 2 extra inches of movement, but that individual model jumps about 12.
Also, not doing anything effectively. Okay, Psychic, Exalted Sorcerer does his thing. What? Sorry. Shit. I'll just re-roll that since I... Actually, no, he succeeds on a 4, actually, so... Using the lowest, he still passes.
Oh, yeah.
Just had a deny range, so that's fine. No CP. Okay, and then Armand gets him out of there. Yay. We can hear you. The Weaver Fates. Oh, Alakar is fucked, but we'll see how it goes. If we make this charge and do something big.
We get the live Trevi commentary.
Yes. And Presage.
Yep. Nope.
He'll use his own reroll. That's why we take him. He will still fuck it up. So no Presage, which already a low chance becomes even lower.
Sorry, chat.
Wish I could
Muted
use
my
that
microphone.
afterwards.
I think I was
I
hitting the wrong mute buttons.
Plus 2 wouldn't pass that, would it?
The thing to keep in mind is that the no prisoners are not being scored for Alakar yet. He has 4 points of no prisoners currently. He's about to score a ton more, so he looks like he's a little bit down on secondaries here, but they're actually relatively close. He has that Psychic Interrogation. He's up 8 on primary, but so on the whole, he's only down maybe 2 comparatively between the two players. Getting the 3 extra wounds if you kill your own Scorpic Destroyer doesn't make that too much of a difference, because Devin's sort of going into this game expecting to give his opponent the maximum no prisoner score, so giving up wounds he's not really worried about. And that's, for the most part, these resurrection lists are usually not worried about trying to
I think that's everything that matters, because
trying to hold back their no prisoners points, because
we will accept that.
They have such a wound volume and they're reanimating models so quickly that they will be given that easily. In this case, obviously, 27 Scarab Swarms is gonna max most of your opponent's no prisoners automatically. I think they get a 9 from just killing the Scarab Swarms.
If you want to put the Infernal Master somewhere else, that's fine.
Fine. He'll just just tucked in.
That's completely fine with me.
Okay, yeah, so shooting, just the flamers, they need to not... Oh, wait, no, first we'll go with the Rubric Marine, get a little extra fire in there.
Maybe this will make some inputs.
Hits everything, yay.
27,
Wounds
yeah,
everything, yay.
it's only 80... It's 80... Oh, yeah, they're 4 each, you're right, yeah. 11 points.
Oh, at least I don't lose the Scarab.
It's not 81, it's...
Okay, so 18...
100 and...
This is... Who's shooting me?
100 and...
Flamers, 18 plus, kind of average, 38. might not be enough to kill him.
39 is average. So yeah, that's like pretty nose on.
Wounding 2s, but no rerolls, so we'll miss these. And 33 enter invuln.
Yeah, that's
You
not good
can't
enough.
kill the units, so
Yeah.
there's
But hopefully we'll
actually,
make our charge.
sorry, you can technically kill the unit if I fail literally all of these. So because
Interesting
of
that
I'm
the
gonna
change
roll-
caster
sorry,
didn't
not 42.
didn't push close enough. I think we were worried about getting
I'd
shot,
really love to
maybe,
roll 42 dice.
or
I'm gonna
charged,
keep
maybe
one aside
potentially. But
because of
you
reasons.
have to kill these scarabs right now.
I don't trust myself. Actually, that's
Oh,
pretty
good roll. 13
Last one
saves.
Also is
Oh,
bad.
that makes it.
So
19
go
go through.
through. So 1. What's this? 7.
So if you stay on the point, I got a 7, so...
I make it need longer than 7 without touching the terrain feature. No, I can't. So yeah, I'll just leave one of these guys alive. So 1, 5, 9, 13, 16. Leave him and take him instead. So 1, so that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 wounds of scarabs. One of them was wounded, so 17, so you gotta take 2. And that'll be 20 reanimates.
Oh my God,
So I
Chad.
get 3 of them. I get 3 of them back. Oh, well, nice.
And that is what the interaction we were talking about earlier in the game, where the fact that Alakar's damage is so concentrated in single units that he has a real trouble with reanimation protocols, because he is going to be doing tons of damage to these scarab units, but typically not quite enough to one-shot them. And that's going to allow for these huge reanimation rolls. We just saw that come back in a big way. This Flamer unit almost entirely got blanked by that reanimation protocol. Oh my God, that's brutal. And I think that may donate Devin a 12er on primary.
Yes, yeah, that's
So we do have a charge from the
The other unit being a colossal screw up.
a charge from the
okay, that's all
Chaos Bond to turn around and potentially try to get them.
Charging,
May elect to do that. Yeah, I think that has to move the game plan much differently. Yeah, I think
5, so we'll re-roll that.
maybe an undercommittal from Alakar into that unit. You can't really
Makes no sense.
expect your opponent to make that many reanimation protocol rolls. There's a 12 on the charge. Get on in there. But I wish we'd killed this Catacomb Command Bar, chat. He's just asking for it right now.
Let's grab...
And that would have given us a much better angle onto this objective 4.
Probably not smart to do. Okay.
This shows why the Flamers aren't broken, chat, right? Because we shot Flamers at a Scarab unit and they killed like 2. So everything's fine. Flamers also similar to Scarabs. They do kind of give up a lot of no prisoners points as well. 3 wounds apiece. For only about 7, 8.3 wounds, points per wound. Which is, I mean, worse than Scarabs. But still, a lot of points per wound in there. So if they go down, you give up a ton of points.
No, actually, they might get to Overwatch if I'm lucky, so they'll stay still. We'll just...
Hope the spawner enough.
We'll see if the Aspiring Sorcerers can make it. That'd be cool. Just need a 10. They don't make it. I meant the rubrics, but whatever.
Yep. That's it.
Well, without our +1, we definitely don't kill them, but...
I mean, anything is technically possible.
We'll try it, so we'll spend our 1 CP.
Yeah, we are in a position here as well where the Scorpic or the Canoptic Scarabs may not die, but they may take enough casualties. So they are down. Oh, they're only down 1? Oh my God. That's brutal. They may take enough casualties to force a morale check.
Okay, well,
Especially if the Chaos Spawn, because the Chaos Spawn, you also reduce their leadership by 1.
Yeah, let's do it.
Although, it didn't kill quite enough with that Flamer shot for that to matter too much.
Can we roll better?
Then
Make
last
up
time. Yeah, last turn was pretty bad. That was
That's better. So 18 plus 15 is 33, which is 38.
That's better than last time.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, just gotta hit those 4s. Can't really ask for more, but I can ask for more here. Pretty average. Okay, 14 on your invuln.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. I can't lose the unit.
Naturally.
So I'm just gonna roll these. Or sorry, not 15 dice. Let's not do that. So I can't lose the unit, which is good. Not even really gonna lose any of them. So wounded 1 dies. That kills 1, 2, 3.5. So that's gonna put you up to 74 wounds on this, and I get to roll 12 reanimates. And I get 1 back. So 1, 2. Actually, you're keeping them from screwing my Scorps over, so that's fine. 1, 2, 3, I think is what we want to do, and then we'll bring you back over here just for a little bit of movement. Not that I think I can really do anything with it, but you never know. Actually, can I even do anything with that next turn? Can move 11? No, I'm not gonna do it. So no, I'll just press him. I'll just press him over here on the objective.
Okay.
I'll
I'll just throw in base and
Sure.
hit me back.
That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do I still have 6 of these guys in this unit? How are they not dead? That's what I want to know. 24 attacks in you. You're glamour,
That's-
right?
Yes.
So 5s. They're not doing much back to you, at least. Just 4 wounds. Almost
at
killed one.
least Not die at least.
I'm scarabs.
Okay, and that'll be my turn. You'll score 12 and probably run away with the game. Let's see what happens though.
Let's see. So I score 12.
Yeah, it was a super unfortunate turn for Alakar. I think keeping the second Flamer unit safe was a pretty good call. And wanting to keep our Unprolific Crystal represented for the future is also very understandable. But I do wonder if this was a Cult of Duplicity list. We maybe see these Scarab Cult Terminators teleport to the center to aid in that shot onto the Scarab Swarms. It is a little bit of an awkward shot to get both the Flamers and the Scarab Swarms in. I think you'd have to advance the Flamers to a more aggressive position. But yeah, I think it was going to be dicey to kill the Scarabs with just the Flamers and the Chaos Spawn. We needed 2 units of Flamers, and we maybe needed Devin's dice to cool down a little bit. That is going to be gross. Yeah, so Necrons, obviously their strength is secondary objectives, but their primary objective control is still strong with with full army obsac. They can steal objectives very well. But generally speaking, you want to be cutting them down lower on primary, and if you give them too many outlets to get a 12, they can usually max their points pretty quickly. This may get really hairy for Alakar. I think that from here on out, Alakar only has 2 rounds to actually sort of, play out the game. I think he has to get super aggressive here. I think we're going to see an Unprolific Crystal triggered on these Carapacal Terminators. They're going to push across the table, try to kill a unit, and then charge and kill another unit. And if they can do that, and maybe withstand the swing back and start to play for the Necron home objectives, we may have a game. But as it stands, Devin is very much in the driver's seat right now. Soren, thank you for the wonderful coaching advice. I really appreciate you. It's very good. You can send me a PayPal request that I'll delete. How's that? Last turn's going to be lit. We'll see. There are going to be a lot of units on the table in the last turn. We've only killed a few actual models. So both of these players are going to have a lot of resources when it comes down to the bottom couple turns of the game. And again, I mean, both these armies are going to be basically trading haymakers as things get down to it. We've been seeing their chaff fight, but once flamers and destroyers start getting into the mix, it gets to be pretty gross.
These scarabs will fall back in a second. Once I figure out where the rest of these friends. You still have the crystal. Armand's bodyguarded. You're protected. Yeah, all your characters are protected. Just fine. Let's do that anyway. Hang out here just to be within 9 of them for next turn. The Technomancer, we'll figure him out in a second. Locusts will come out. Let's leave 2 of them touching the screen. Zox not be there. So just leave him touching the terrain as well, because he can still see Swann, just what he wants to do. We'll go there. We'll come up here. We'll come up here. I like to kill these flamers, and I can see you with all but one of the destroyers, which is good. Alrighty, the Technomancer has the staff of basically does nothing right now. He's just going to come out and make sure Terminators don't make my day very, very sad. That would be exceptionally ungood. So he'll just do that, and he just wants to stay within 6 inches of these units. For obvious reasons. There you go, he'll just stay within 6 of him. The Wraith is actually just good where he is. I'm sure put the Technomancer there. I'll put you here instead. That'd be better.
Torin, what Space Marine? What
do you think you can fit a
you're
whole
playing
Scarab Brick
against the
basically
Space
in
Marine
this
list. I
tiny
see.
little corner here?
That seems good.
I mean, if
Which
there's
Space Marine list are
here,
you
then I
playing
can
against,
split them
Torin?
out.
Is it Blood Angels? Or is it Imperial Fists?
Yeah, you just do that. That's easier.
Chad, if you guys want to start
This
redeeming
thing
E-Bolt
doesn't
guns, go for it.
really work all too well.
Yeah, if I spread them out, I could fit 10 guys there. I think.
In fact, let's do some.
I was a little bit further in because it did some.
Okay.
Let's do some. Drive me closer. I want to hit them with my
I
sword.
think-
Orc songs? We could do orc songs.
Yeah, I
too.
don't think they'd fit. It would be really edge. I'd have to like measure it out. I don't believe they fit, so I'll just go with
There you go.
they don't
So it
fit there.
begins.
Could you fit Rubrics in there?
Good start, chat.
Rubrics, I mean 5 Rubrics, yeah, for sure.
So we do see
Let me
the
just say no to that as well.
the Necrons starting to push out a little bit here. I think we are going to finally see battle join.
And we'll
The
just make sure
downside
it stays within 6 inches
for
of the
Alakar is that this yellow Scarab Swarm not only didn't die and scores a ton of primary
There we
objective
go.
points,
That's
but is now
good.
also going to be
Red
useful to
Swarms will
screen.
Chill.
Yeah.
These Scarabs don't really want to be here anymore.
Yeah, so we're going to shoot the Spawn to death and then use the Scarab Swarm to hold up the center. And this is why these Scarabs are so powerful, chat. Their resilience for points cost is pretty wild. And so it takes much more commitment than you think to actually kill them. And if you don't kill them, they sort of turn the game on its head. The big downside as well is that Alakar doesn't know what buffs are on his Chaos Spawn when he moves them, because those are applied in the Psychic phase. So in this case, he basically had to make this commitment not knowing that he wouldn't get his presage on that unit. selecting Space Marine chapter based on favorite color is the only rational way to do so, for sure.
This guy is just go like that. There we go. Yeah, I think that's probably the play.
So this will block most of the umbralific crystal positions that can get line of sight to the Locust Destroyers.
Eat bolt gun!
Hang out down here, I guess.
I do think Silent King may be a little bit in
Pushing up this way, but you could
danger.
do with the Exalted.
But we may also see a second Canoptic Scarab Storm push forward.
Actually, no, you'd be. Yeah, if I went too far, that
Looks like neither of them.
shoot it or whatever.
Oh, here, so it begins. Neither of them are going to be Chronomancered, I don't believe, or Chronometroned. So we are losing out on our invulnerable save this turn, but they are going to eat the mortal wounds instead of the more powerful
Shots
units.
for days. Awesome. Where they are, they're happy to not get.
Uru King, thanks for the follow.
And everybody else is happy to do things. Alrighty. Yes. We'll start with the.
Whose
Locusts.
favorite color is yellow? Is anyone's favorite color actually yellow?
Yeah, that's exactly what I don't really.
Eat bolt gun!
Because then you just kill me with Terminators next turn.
Yes.
Like, for other things.
Bring it on.
So I got CP to burn.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. You got a Might Will Be Done on you, and the other one's on Zark himself. Yeah, I'll spend 2 to reroll wounds on the Locusts. The one guy that can only shoot.
So we'll see if Alakar. There's some technology that Alakar can use here. We'll see how well that the Locust Destroyers roll right now.
So we get the guy
But what Alakar could potentially do is, because this Locust Destroyer unit is so dangerous, he could, even though he's Weaver of Fated, he could elect to roll his saving throws on his armor save, his 5+ armor save, which means he's not going to get one. Which means that there's a pretty decent chance every single one of the Locust Destroyer hits will go through and kill a model, or not kill a model, but do damage. Unless he rolls his invulnerable save. If he elects to use his standard armor save, he could lose the entire unit here, which would mean that then he disallows Devin from getting Code of Combat points by killing them with one of the noble units. We'll see if he does that.
Yeah, and -1 to bring him back to 3s. Or do they naturally? Okay, yeah, it
No,
should be
no.
3s.
No, because they're shooting the flares with these.
Oh, right. Yes, I'm dumb. I forget that sometimes I don't have -1 to hit on all my troops. This is a new thing that I have to get used to.
Be 11 saves on the flares.
Okay. Whatever. We'll just.
Oh, we're firing with the flamers. Excuse me.
Eat
2 go
bolt
through.
gun!
We're gonna try to kill the
first
Chaos Spawn
one.
just with the characters.
And the second one will kill him.
Okay. We'll take it from the back since nothing's charging him.
Eat bolt gun!
It's appropriate for the shooting phase. If only these Necrons use bolt
Actually-
guns. I'm kind of excited to see if a bolt gun ends up making an appearance in Darktide chat. It was just auto guns and las guns, and man, were they
Eat
satisfying.
bolt gun!
But I would love to see a
On a 3.
veteran guards with a bolt gun.
I swear to God, he never does anything. He always misses, or just like every time.
Eat
Anyway.
bolt gun!
Gotta use the stratagem. Auto wound. Haha. CP tax.
Honestly, it was not really. The barge will just shoot the flamers with everything.
Yep.
So we got the start the voltaic staff. No 6s. I'm gonna go fishing with Silent King. Still no 6s, but I didn't miss, which is nice. 3s. 3 ups to you.
Yeah, we'll just roll him. Got him.
Tesla cannon. We'll go fishing. All hit. 2 more.
Get in the box. Get in the box.
Take
Take
a
one.
wound,
One
finally.
damage.
1 damage. That's just.
The shooting all going into the flamers. I'm actually not sure
Zark
if
will get rid of them.
Silent King and the command barge actually kill all these Chaos
Ah,
Spawn.
yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
in
charge
melee.
and spawn. So the strength 8 gun.
Just because they have all of their defensive buffs active. If they didn't, they would certainly die.
Haha.
This guy's he's gonna not wound. Or he does wound. Look at that. 2, 3 ups. They're both 2 damage.
2 damage.
And I sold right here.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not wasting a CP on this yet. This guy.
Kills the wounded one. Menhirs. Reroll the hit roll. Come on, Menhir. There you go, buddy. Every time. Every time. 1-3 up.
We'll reroll it.
Oh, don't do that.
Got
These
it.
flavors are terrible.
the
Saves are
strength
not
6
great
gun.
for them.
Oh, that 2 hits. The 1's not. These need 3s. These are all 3 ups as well.
Take 2.
Wow. A whole unit of locusts and like 2 characters only killed like 2.5 players.
Well, it certainly helps.
God, that unit's obnoxious. Oh well, whatever. It's
I made up for red squad. There we go.
not ideal, but whatever. I can't do anything about it. Charge.
Devin did just get a free unit of flamers last turn
Double
for
once.
sure.
Double once.
I don't even think that makes me fail. 10 definitely does not. So he'll just come in there.
This is a little aggressive for Silent King.
Menhirs behind him.
He could get
Margin.
caught out by a little bit of a cheeky teleport into this
Oh, boy.
area.
It's flying.
Everybody wants to play with you. Alrighty, you got a guy on 1 wound.
We do have a guy in 1 wound.
Cool, so I'll start with Silent King. He makes them fight last, you can't interrupt.
Yep.
The Menhirs on 6s. Nope. We'll do the strength, well, the 1 damage stave. Eating 3s.
Yeah, honestly, chat, I'm not sure the spawn die here. I think
Kills the wounded.
there's
there's
a
a guy.
universe where they do,
Finally.
but it's not super likely. Just because of that -1 to hit. Although Silent King's getting around it with his +1. Oh, is he actually?
One of them?
We have 1/1.
Yeah, the Scepter for total point on 2s this turn.
We'll take it.
We'll do
Much
the
damage.
we'll do the Scythe of Dust first.
Okay.
So 2s. Actually, we'll do the Scepter. Doesn't actually really matter the order I do this in.
You still on 2s with the -1 to hit, or?
Yeah, because he has the +1 hit
Okay.
on
Got him.
himself.
Yeah. He's
so
getting
this
around
hits
the
on
glamour,
2s,
but
it
he's
doesn't
hitting
miss
into
on
a 4+ invulnerable save. And the volume of attacks
Yes.
isn't huge.
Wounds on 2s.
Ooh,
He reroll
yeah.
disease himself.
I don't like him giving himself his buff.
That's great.
I guess I'll leave 1 dice.
I still have like 4 more swings.
Yeah. Are they with multi-damage weapons?
Yeah, they're 3 damage. It's gonna kill 1 spawn.
1.
1.5.
And wasn't there 7 dice? I don't know how we lost them. But...
No, there was 6. There was only 6
Okay.
units.
So 1.5. Yeah.
Cool. Scythe the Dust. Same thing, if I miss, I'll reroll it. I'll hit. This one's on 3s. Gets to reroll for himself.
I hate that.
I know.
No reroll wounds.
He still
There
is
we
just
go.
a colossal failure.
And this is how much damage?
3 each.
3 each? Okay. Yeah, 1 at a time.
Kills
Take
him.
1
Just
and
a
save the other.
So just that spawn's dead. Large will hit them.
So I believe that if a 40k
same
player's
thing.
personality
It's like some
matches
boss
their
fight.
faction.
I'll hit because he has the +1 hit himself. And then
I don't know, to an
he
extent.
has to wound because he's strength 6.
Look at that. Look at that roll, chat. Devin rolling like a god right now, and by god I mean just terribly. Fortunately, he's full rerolling, so it doesn't matter so much. I'm not actually sure.
2.
I do think to some extent
And your saves a bit.
there are certainly some players who are big fans of particular types of factions who kind of fit a mold. I'm looking particularly at like Orc and Space Wolf players.
Cool, hit me back.
But I would, from there on out, I don't know if
Oh. I totally...
if like the
That was all just from Silent King.
the narrative of a faction or the theme of a faction really fits the players who play them so much. Oftentimes your personality matches the power level of your faction more than the actual faction as it operates on the tabletop.
Wahapedia. 1 is extra AP. Ooh,
Oh, the useless one. How many attacks do you get?
just 2d4. But that'll be 10.
Oh
And who's getting hit?
dang.
Oh, sorry, that's all into the command barge. Or, sorry, not the command barge, he's -1, it's all into Zerk or whatever. Did I
All
move him right, or do I have to split them? I wasn't actually listening.
No, you're good. You're
Okay,
good.
yeah, we're good.
You're good.
So, half them hit, solid,
Just one.
and 1 wound at your invuln.
One on my invul. All right, come on. 4 up to save. He's good.
Okay.
You lost 3 spawns. You can fail this ninja test.
Oh, yes, I can. Doesn't happen very often. Actually, I don't think they can. Okay,
Yeah,
they're
they
good.
can't.
No, they're 9. Right, you had to lose your 9 for some
Yes.
reason. Forgot about that. All right.
Okay. You good? Switch to me.
All right, chat. So Devin came out of the hidey hole. He does have his Locust Destroyer unit remaining, which is going to be problematic for Alakar. I think Alakar has to push forward, maybe try to kill the Silent King. No Code of Combat was scored this turn, so if the Silent King goes down, could actually cut pretty hard on Code of Combat. And then charge the Wraiths. If he goes into the Wraiths, he could pile and consolidate with a big charge. He could go around and touch Objective 5 and knock Necrons to a 4-point primary. And I think that's Alakar's out. He then has to eat a bunch of Scorpic Destroyer and Locust Destroyer attacks in the swing back. But if the Silent King's dead and they don't get rerolls and he has his defensive spells up, there is a chance that they survive that.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
So I think that we need to see that crystal to push that Scarabacol unit very aggressively forward. It's also assuming we kill the Silent King. To be fair, there's a Flamer unit here that can shoot basically whatever it wants. Kind of useful. And if the Silent King goes down, I don't believe that the Catacomb Command Barge is Lookout Surd. It might be by the Locust Destroyers.
I will do the reanimate reroll, I guess.
Oh. I don't know what that is, but do it.
So every time I have to do my reanimation protocols, I get to roll an extra dice, or I
Okay,
get
but you're not doing
I get to
anything.
roll one of the dice.
Okay, but you're not doing anything right now. Okay.
No.
Okay, then, so these
takes
guys are
already
going to fall back. I guess they'll just hang out over here and block the other guys? No.
This guy's fine.
Something dumb. There we go. Okay, terrain's being annoying, but whatever. That's something accomplished at least. Oh wait, no, we do not want to be heroic. Where was I there?
Don't forget the wraith can also heroic you.
Oh, they can. 6 inches?
No, 3.
3. Okay, then we're good. We are not moving any further. Okay, so then so I think it's gonna suck because of how far we are back, but if we get a good advance on these guys, they get over them, and we shoot at Sark with everything. Yeah, so yellow guys are gonna advance. This might actually be worth re-rolling if it's terrible, but it's good. Okay, we are gonna put ourselves 12 inches from Cirque, who, yeah, he doesn't have any special thing to get lookout Cirque, right? So I'm just
Nope.
shoot him normally? Okay.
He's just on his T7 Porpin Bowl. That's all he is.
Okay, so we were gonna try our very best.
Between Scarabacults and the Flamers, we should get Silent King here. And if these Flamers are able to... If these Flamers are still able to activate after all that stuff is gone, then we may also get the Catacomb Command Barge, which will cut Necrons down to a 3 uncoded combat. I do think that the double charge here is very aggressive. I assume that we see a couple shots from Devin into the cast spawn to knock him down, and then maybe we'll just Silent King goes in to get that coded combat point. The fact that he went in with both means that he could get punished here. And then what's even better is that these Flamers, if the Scarab Swarms don't die to shooting, the Flamers actually have a charge backwards, so they can push themselves a little bit farther out of threat range.
I don't know what the actual timing is for it, but are you okay if I just use the strat on this guy to move him?
20 moves, I think. But yeah, it's fine.
Okay, if it's 20 moves, then yeah, we're good. Okay, so... Oh, he can't even, can he?
Torrent, I think
There.
Tyranid players are just actual cockroaches, right?
Okay, that is going to be very difficult to kill something if that's the case.
Speaking as
Okay, Exalted Flame
from
will
experience,
advance.
using my
I
tiny
will-
mandibles and you know, my 6 legs, definitely just
I didn't
bugs.
even notice he has less movement than others. So 14.
Honestly, I don't know if the Flamers deal as much damage to the Silent
Oh my
King
God.
as the Scarab Cult Terminator unit's about to.
Actually, yeah, it literally doesn't even matter, does it? I guess if I split fire into the command barge, but there's Lookout
Oh.
Surge, so that would be only a
Yeah.
few guys firing.
The
But
barge
yeah.
character.
Yes. So I don't think we're getting. Yeah, it's not going to be relevant. So we just want to have him there to shoot. So maybe he just hangs out over here. Screens my Terminators. Yeah, I think he just touches the terrain so that he can fire there. Change caster, even the biggest thing, no teleport will get him in because those frickin' swarms.
I love scarabs, they're great.
Oh my god, that reanimate. Okay, actually no, Exalted Flamer is not gonna be dumb and he's gonna not be in the way of the frickin' Terminators.
It's true, chat. My brain is just a cockroach. Telling me what to do. Sure.
That.
Are we not crystaling right now, chat? I think we have to crystal. I'm actually not sure Alakar can win this game if he doesn't use his Umbrillific Crystal right now.
And 5 would not get him there, so he's actually to be on that side. And when he goes that, he'll be able to go that. Okay. Okay,
Because Devin has bottom
and
round 5
fourth.
scoring, chat, if Alakar, this is Alakar's basically last opportunity to contest his scoring in a meaningful way. If he doesn't block scoring now, the Necrons will get an 8 and then can push for a 12. But if he cuts him to a 4, and then can maybe kill enough stuff that the in his top of 5 that he can block Necrons from getting an 8 on or a 12 on bottom round 5. He can maintain parity on primary at least, and then push for secondaries. And if he cuts the Code of Combat right now, he may actually win on secondaries. So I think that has to be Alakar's game plan. I think he's taking this game too slow right now. I've outthought Inky because she's locked in her bedroom right now because she keeps coming and trying to yell at the microphone. I think she just she sees me doing it and tries to ape, so she just runs up to the microphone and screams, which is basically what I do all day. So, you know, she's very good at copying. No prisoners is how many points so far? It's not that many. It looks like 70. Is that right? 70 wounds? Oh, because of the reanimation, I think, yeah. Because there was like a 16-point reanimation that happened. And so it should max out by the end of the game, chat. We should kill this next unit of scarabs, which is another 36 wounds, and then probably get 1 to 2 destroyer units on top as well. I think we can safely assume it's a max by the end of the game. So if Alakar can max that, he can max his Psychic Interrogation pretty easily. So that's and then get a 10 on banners without having to push too far. So that is 40 secondaries without really pushing, trying too much. Ancient Machineries is going to be tough for Necrons to max because they have to get back to Alakar's home objective, and that seems very difficult. So that might be stuck to an 8 for Devin. Treasures of Eons he can max, but if he gets cut on Code of Combat, he's going to be only at a 26. So he would lose on secondaries there. Although he does have the opportunity to get that back with primary points in the last round. But again, Alakar has to kill his army right now. You win Necrons by tabling them as early as possible, and Alakar is not doing that.
Normally not the 4-up.
Necron reanimations do count towards no prisoners, chat, yep. If a model is destroyed and then regenerated, it counts for no prisoners a second time.
Don't you dare. I need all of these things I can get.
Yeah, losing on secondary because we've offered up our code of combat outlets
Okay, and then we will use our +1 to wound.
without getting any points out of them.
That one will fail though. Loser. Wonder if I should just smite it. How else would have failed?
No, because you would have had to smite the scarabs.
Yes. Okay, and then these guys will Gaze of Hate.
Yep.
Oh wait, actually. Yeah, well, I'll go off on that.
Off. You can, assuming you can see Silent King. I'll try and fourth deny this because I don't want to
Okay.
take damage unnecessarily. Nope, goes through.
Excellent.
Can you roll
Okay,
it?
3 dice, and yes, it will target the Silent King. Or actually, do we want to try and hit the command barge at all? Because there's a non-zero chance we kill that. No, because if we have overshooting, we'll just fire these guys at them. Okay, so yes, that will be the Silent King. 4-ups are immortal. A got 2. And assuming you can't get rid of them in some way, I'll spend 4 to add D3 to that. Just 1. Ugh.
It's fine.
Okay. Oh, frig. Do you mind if I move the 6-up sorcerer?
Oh yes, that would be helpful.
He didn't freaking do anything. Okay. Yeah, he would have needed an advance. Okay. He'll join the party of all my characters sitting over here. Okay, so yeah, he would have been there. Now he'll use Tzeentch's Firestorm.
Yep.
Succeed, but it's a mini one.
Yep.
Sixes, just 1 mortal.
It's fine.
And then he will... Yeah, no point in doing anything else. Or he could double cast that power instead of Armon.
Double cast which power?
No, I want my stuff later, so he'll just Doom Bolt. Doom Bolt successful, 3 mortals to these losers.
That's curve.
This loser who's sitting behind a wall, good job. He will Glamour.
Nope.
We will use a +1. Good thing I didn't spend my command points.
Yep.
To make that go off. It will target my Terminators, because they're going to need everything.
Yep.
Armon will go with his buff, so first he'll Temporal Surge. Successful with his +1 to cast. So, we'll just make sure that everyone can see. So the line of fire is... Yep.
Thing like that.
So we're surging forward instead of crystalline.
Slash touching the building.
Will mostly be about the same. Opens our crystal for use later, but I'm not sure we're actually gonna need it.
This line, you're good.
I think there's not too much reason.
A little spicy there, chat. Certainly a potential you fail that power.
No, we are going to have to be clever about this. He'll have to move back.
Downside here is that I don't think the Scarab Gods get the opportunity to charge, and I do think that Alakar needs them in melee this turn.
Just you're gonna have to touch if we want to shoot.
Yep. Come on.
Now,
There
interestingly,
go.
we didn't see a warp portal on the Change Caster to get him to
Yeah, you're good.
hang out
You're
with his
all good. Yep,
flavors.
you're on range.
Which I do think is also going to hurt
Double check
Alakar.
that guy.
To
Yeah,
be fair, oh yeah, he
Okay,
could.
he's good
That
there,
was
he'll
because
just
he was
stay
going to be
there.
blocked by the Scarab. So I guess there was no way to do that. Just kidding.
Okay. That's all there. So. Oh, this will be funny. So these guys. Oh wait, no, we gotta continue this guy first. So presage,
that's all.
successful. This one hit them,
And then Weaver.
and yes, Weaver Fates. Re-rolling. Excellent. That should keep them alive, hopefully. And now done. So just Orange Squad and Infernal Master did his. Did I do it? No, Infernal Master didn't do his action. Well, you use your denies, so we'll be solid on that. We will not get our CP, but we will get our points.
You get your CP. You rolled a 9. 9 plus 1 is a 10. I'm going to lose you 10.
Oh, I
Which
thought
I'm-
you had to be. I thought you had to
No,
be
it's
leadership.
equal. Also, I'm leadership 9 because the spawn are scary.
Ah, yes, the spawn are scary, so we'll get
And you
that.
also-
Silent King
and-
is
and you
terrified
also
of
would've
those
gotten
2
it
chaos
anyways.
fun. He hit them with a stick and he didn't die, and he was like, "Holy shit!"
Okay, and then these
See,
guys will.
these
I guess we have
chaos
4 points
contraptions
left.
too powerful.
No, we don't, because I spent 4, so they only have 3, so they can't do that. So they'll just.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be
Academic
significantly
Curse
lower than
doesn't
6
have the
CP
extra
very
range, so
quickly,
that's not
chat.
going to do anything. So they'll just do
We're about
nothing.
to dump a bunch of them into the Scarab unit. I think.
Shooting. Okay, now to see if we can do things. So these guys pretty much can only see Scarab, so he'll fire everything at him,
Yep.
and they'll spend 3 CP, 2 on +1 to wound, and 1 to get a few extra bolter shots.
So here is the
40.
Not really worth it, but we'll do that. So
The
even
big
40 on the
wombo
bolter
combo
shots,
we
we'll
talked about
start
at the
with-
beginning of the
wait, no,
game.
you've got men here. What's the
Yep.
guy left at?
He's on 4, the other one's at full, his Hark's on 16. You can just roll the bolters and the Soul Reapers.
Yeah,
do
whatever.
the same thing to me.
Oh yeah, both Soul Reapers are the same then? Yes.
Yeah.
No, because we're +1 strength, so they're actually wounding.
Oh, right, yes, you're +1 strength. Never mind. Yeah. So, yeah, so do them separate.
Okay,
Eat
bolters.
bolt gun!
That's very appropriate,
rolling.
chat. Let's get those e-bolt guns in chat here.
1 misses.
And Daka.
Fours.
That's what we're about to see.
Fours.
Scarab
Come
units.
on, roll big.
Firing into the Silent King.
Pretty.
Million
not
billion
great,
attacks.
But all that probably at your invuln.
Eat bolt gun!
Yeah. You have AP, it's on my anvil. That was really not good.
Okay. That worked
Eat
out.
bolt gun!
Oh my
On
god.
him.
12 go through.
Okay. And the Soul
Ooh.
Reapers, because I have them here anyways.
Yep.
Everything hits. Don't even need my reroll. And 3s.
7.
Eat
Yeah,
bolt
average.
gun!
So Silent
all
King
that-
already taken 12 damage.
Force, come on, Derek. There you
Two
go.
more.
buddy.
Yeah. He will probably be pretty fine.
He's still on flamers.
Eat bolt
Yeah.
gun!
He's about to be
Little
flamered.
things, Everything hits. These guys on 2s.
Yeah.
Got him. And missiles.
4
Let's
missile
see.
shots going through.
Any failures in here get CP rerolled. And like I said,
Come on, tax. Yeah, tax for nothing. Okay.
Okay, so 2 D3 shots for 4 more. Silent King down to 7. So I think we are in a pretty
Okay,
decent spot to get both characters here, chat.
Try. Yeah, we'll try.
Eat
big
bolt
here.
gun!
Oh wait, no. First, we'll Exalted Flamer. I almost forgot about him. So he'll fire into him.
Silent King explosion right now would be
Needs
Pretty
to hit,
horrific, for sure, chat.
unfortunately. So he misses 1.
needs to wound.
Wounding. Oh, good. So at your invuln, 3 damage each.
Oh yeah, big exalted flamer
Good.
gets some damage
Yeah.
through, making the saves though.
Every time. Yeah, well, we'll just see what the flamers can do, so... Yeah, whatever, I'm just firing the bigger... I'm firing the bigger ones in first. We're gonna need them all anyways. I'd rather complain about overrolling, so... 18...
Oh my
that's not
god. These flamers are mad.
Oh, flamers just casually getting 43 hits.
Well, they didn't get their +1 to wound, so 5s is difficult.
This is hard.
Ugh, so difficult.
11.
Ouch.
It's not.
Well, actually take
7
both
wounds
flamer
left.
against Kill Silent King.
That
Yeesh.
sucks.
Just an underperformance there.
Fine.
See if he goes
Eric.
down.
He's good.
Oh, he takes 4,
Yeah, he
yeah.
takes 4.
Ooh. So we do not get the
Well,
Catacomb Command Barge. That's actually
all four
really
of the other
unfortunate,
guys-
chat, because it may be that Devin can try to grab himself some points on Code of Combat before the end of the game. That is a womp womp. That is a womp womp, chat. And then the second unit rolls 8 on 4d6. I think I would take a CP roll on that one there and try to get some more shots through. Oh my god.
Nope, 4.
Silent King's gonna live? No way, chat.
No, I can fail. I can fail 3.
Yeah, we'll see. He needs to make 2 out of 4.
Give it to me.
Makes all of them. Oh my
I
god.
love you. Hmm.
Yep,
These dice. Devin's dice. Well,
Devin's
Devin's dice have been kind of whatever, but Alakar did just get a little punked by dice there.
Zaris, I can act on full bracket, but it doesn't bring my extra weapons back.
Okay.
So like he'll be hitting on.
We can accomplish a little bit then.
So,
Okay,
like, he'll be at 6 attacks with the Scepter of Glory, and he'll get the Scythe of Dust back. So he's gonna heal.
so those guys will fire
That is a womp
everything
womp,
into the
chat.
Scarabs.
losers here.
Yep.
The spawn can't
Sword
kill. The spawn
cannon.
fell back, check, because he had charged them. Yeah.
It's at 3.
3.
Can't do anything about it. Does it really matter? Yeah, not really.
And 9 bolters.
That was some insane dice there, Chad.
Jazz.
But clearly, the flamer's not that good, right? 10 flamers did 4 damage to Silent King. So like, you know, it's not even that strong a unit. They're basically garbage, is what I'm trying to say.
Nope. You get 4
Oh,
damage.
and I almost forgot. Soul Reaver Cannon. Gonna finish Sarks off.
All right.
God.
1
Doesn't even have rerolls.
cannon shot.
Wow.
No support.
He doesn't need them. He's just got to fully convert.
We're gonna
Come on,
roll
wounding
4
5s.
wounds. No, no 0 wounds.
Woo! Oh, Silent King living is a big deal.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're literally on charges already.
Yeah, that was super unfortunate. I think that this certainly had the potential here for Alakar to spin this game around if he was able to get the maximum damage out of his flamers. But the fact that his units all kind of underperformed,
These
really
guys
big
will go
deal.
into the swarm.
Yep.
Oh my god, give me 2 dice. There we go.
Alright.
5. Okay. Make sure everyone can. Sure, everybody can get on the point here. What was that? 5? Yeah, 5. Yeah, I'll do that. Tarks.
Because they all advanced, I think.
Scarab Occult's no point putting them in, is there? Because yeah, I'll OPSEC this point away regardless. Because you're only 1 OPSEC, right?
Yeah, I just cast 1. Unless they just murder a bunch of.
Okay, so we'll fight. Just pile in here to.
Although me can join this objective doesn't really matter anymore. I'm just gonna heroically intervene. You played before.
Yes.
Zarkant with the barge, sure as hell can. Barge is just gonna heroic 3 over there.
Okay, I'll start with the. What do you got here?
Guy on 2, and then yeah.
Guy on 2. Sure, we'll.
Yeah, flamers also advanced,
Start with
chat,
staff.
unfortunately.
It's gonna be like my staff or it never. gets
Otherwise, I
anything.
think
Staff
Alakar
actually
would have
does
turned
it.
them around to charge
Staff
those
does
Scarab
everything.
Swarms.
I don't get saves against the staff. Damage.
Okay.
To charge farther back out.
I guess I gotta do this one at a time.
Yeah, 1 at a time. First one.
One, second one kills,
Third one.
deals 2 damage.
So you're dead. You take 2.
And then 5, which is 10 little hits. Do we reroll?
Probably not.
Nope.
Ugh.
2.
Alakar
just
getting
2.
destroyed
Try
by
harder.
dice here.
Come
To
on,
be
6
fair,
make one and live.
he'll still hold that
Yeah,
center
you do.
objective, but
So you get 1 dead scarab model.
not killing the Scarab
See if I
Swarms is
reanimate
brutal.
him. I do not. I guess I'll hit you with the barge next. So the barge is just gonna pile in around.
He should have put Onslaught on the Flamer chat. Then they wouldn't have gotten
That's
-1 to
all
hit on their
you
ranged attacks
here.
that automatically hit either. Would have been good.
So the barge will. That's like half on top of Silent King.
As it turns out, Onslaught's a pretty good spell.
Yeah, there's no way to actually get to them without getting the spawn as well. I don't think I'm gonna kill the spawn. You need 3 to go through to kill the spawn. You could just pile in over this way.
Indeed,
We'll just get
chat.
the spawn. That's
Just roll
not
better.
Terrible. But then he's stuck in combat with you, so nah, he'll just stay with the flamers. They're honestly easier to kill this way. I'll just make it so I'm only within an inch of these 2 guys. And he'll hit you 4 times. I'm on what? 4 CP. I need to hit with all, wound with all. Yeah, if there's a miss, I'll reroll it. Like I said,
Yeah, Taran. What Space Marine chapter would you recommend
all wound.
Alakar play against in order to improve his win?
How much damage?
Each just gonna kill him.
Torn.
1 more, and then
Maybe some Raven Guard?
1 guy takes 2.
Dunzo.
and then he's just happy to be there. And then the Scarabs with the rubrics.
Okay.
Just 12 attacks on 4s. And 5s for these. Enjoy your 2+ saves.
Made him.
You sure did.
And that will be on to you.
Cool, can't fail morale, nobody else cares. Awesome, so I score another 8 primaries. And I think I just win now.
Yeah, go. I mean, honestly, it was
If
always a tight
you-
game. So once
if
I lost
you
the
had-
12 primary and the
If
code
you
of
had
combat.
killed these two, you probably would have won.
Yeah, at the very least, if I killed this guy, it would have been a game. But we'll
No,
see
not-
what he can do.
The Barge would have been very likely to pick up enough code of combat points by himself at this junction to make it
Yeah.
work.
So yeah, would have been cool. But honestly, there was no chance of killing the barge, especially not with. But yeah.
Barge is just gonna go
Do
hang
some
out over
Imperial
here.
Fist chat. I agree with that. I'll buy that.
Zarek heals to 4 and gets his,
It's true. Raven Guard get a bonus against characters, so they might kill the sorcerers. That would be bad. Imperial Fist, though. They can ignore cover, so that's good. They get extra hits on their mostly 1 damage bolt guns against a unit, an army that's entirely all is dust.
Was Glamour on them, the Terminators?
So very exciting. Yeah, big unfortunate there.
Trying to not die.
Devin now pulling ahead. The code of combat point's still going to be a really big deal.
So he doesn't get his extra weapons and auras back, but he does.
I think we are going to top bracket the Silent King, so he gets his base attacks back.
He just
yeah,
wants to
it's
sit
not-
back. Yeah, they're being annoying, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's see here.
So the real downside here now is that the Silent King can probably, well, he may not be able to shoot the
Just check something quickly.
what do you call these guys? The spawn to death, but he can certainly melee them. Now that they don't have any vulnerable save represented,
I know.
the other guy can potentially melee maybe the Exalted Flamer to death and/or shoot it. And those two alone, I believe, would bring Devin up to 11 points in Code of Combat. If you also include a max on
If
Treasures
I set up a bomb
Beyond,
this turn, you won't be able to defuse it.
he is probably going to max his primary and then score
Do I honestly
34 secondary.
He's figuring
That'd be
it out.
79.
I mean, probably.
Alakar could potentially get 8 more primary, so 32. Most likely max no prisoners this coming turn, so up to and max the psychic interrogation and get
Actually, you
most
know what, I'll keep it in
likely
range, and I've got
10
tons of
banners, so
CP, so
be-
I'm gonna
be 72.
see if I can get that last one.
What did we say for Necrons here?
Oh, I thought he was at 2. Never mind, not doing that.
Because he heals in my.
74, yeah. So Alakar, sort of best case scenario here, I
Still have
think,
the
looks
crystal,
looking at a 2 point, losing by 2 points. If Devin can push forward and complete an ancient machinery or break banners, he can increase that gap. But I think that Devin is very, very safe to win by those couple of points. Now, I think anything could happen at this stage because that Code of Combat is still a little bit spiky. If the Silent King, if the characters flub and then die, we could see Devin get cut, like potentially up to 8 on that secondary.
I wanted to have a few over there, but if it can't happen, whatever.
Yeah, chat. If you do a custom patron support for like $100 a month, I just make a pod for you that has it has 15 Imperial Fist players, and I play all of them. And you just get to you basically have to play against 4 separate Imperial Fist lists, and if you beat them all, you get a pod win. That's definitely a service I provide.
I gotta kill these rubrics. Gotta get something else on here, but I think
It's a very competitive practice.
Is awesome. Exalted jerk.
We're gonna eat our words in 6 months when a new edition comes out, a new Space Marine Codex comes out, and Imperial Fists are disgustingly overpowered. And we're gonna have to these like somebody's gonna come through and clip all of these discussions about how bad Imperial Fists are and like sort of make us eat our hats.
So just shoot your Exalted Sorcerer and then like just charge the Flamer. That probably makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Like kill them both out.
I also am hoping for Alakar to win here, chat, for sure.
He'll revive, so kill him in 2 phases.
But it's slipping away very quickly with that last turn.
Yeah, well, probably just shoot the rubrics. Makes more sense now that I think about it a little bit more. Chrono Jerk will go over here. I think they don't have an Inball this turn. You could just Overwatch me with Scarabs, but they're not really gonna do much. That charge is, like,
Imperial
decent enough
Fists
to
become the
hold.
only Space Marines for sure.
But then they're hitting you on 3s, and they're probably not.
So Elementals get 2d3 plus 6. No, 2d6 plus 6. It's just 2 Tzeentch Flamers strapped together. That's what the Imperial Fists get.
Or just charges Flamers.
I'm actually, I don't know, chat. I'm cautiously optimistic for 10th edition. Because the last couple codexes have been, like, pretty good from a power level standpoint. And I think the chance that we get something like the, you know, the Space Marine Redux in 8th edition where they just redo the faction and it's stupidly ridiculous. Is looking less and less likely.
If I do this, I'm just feeding you no prisoners, which I don't really want to
Do we bring back Horde in 10th
do,
edition?
but I don't think
I think
need to
it's
at this point.
counter to what GW wants the game to look like. I think GW likes having the lists be
Although I
more
will kill most of this
balanced.
Terminator brick, but then you'll just smite my whole unit.
So I think that they probably want to keep Hordes
Maybe leave the
minimized.
Wraiths alone, but you just shoot
Still.
the Wraiths. No, I'll just keep the Scorps back. I don't think I need to do anything with them right now. Let me just shoot you with... Nah, I'll just kill this crap. These stupid rubrics need to die.
That's a weird thing to say about those rubrics.
To the Flamer on 3 and a Flamer on 1. And then the Spawn have no upgrades this turn. They have nothing special about them.
Trouble
right
is
now.
you
Spawn.
only have 180 little bugs for Tyranids.
Oh, sorry, they have.
That's child's play, my man.
He loses the Staff Stars, which is the 9-shot strength 6 gun. So he has the 3-shot
Shooky
strength
duck.
gun. Let's take
Thanks for the
3.
follow,
He's gonna
buddy.
lose all of them. He'll just
Appreciate
kill
you.
the Spawn in the shooting phase. I'll probably just shoot you with them.
Exclamation point lists will get you to the army list. In chat.
Do this. I just put Scorps in. 9 right now.
And as Matraz,
Objective. That makes
love
sense.
that name.
Sorry,
It's a good one.
Commit Scarabs to you. Thing is, I can't let you score a big primary. Like, that cannot happen. I think feeding you a couple no prisoners is probably worth the risk.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Devin can really afford to try to cut no prisoners at this stage of the game. I mean, he's already given up 86, and he's about to lose the Canoptic Race, so that's a minimum of 12. He's probably also going to lose his Scarab unit. That would be a 13. But his opponent's very close to maxing, regardless of what else happens. When bullet guns get Sledgehammer of the Emperor. Shit. Oh my god. Bolt guns, I do feel like should have a unique mechanic for sure. It's weird that they kind of don't.
And then I'll just...
Like laser weapons are definitely leaning into that Gene Rot might effect where they auto wound on 6s. Because like that's what Swooping Hawk laser weapons have. That's what the Imperial Guard get.
Just back a little bit. I need to zone this and this, which is very easily doable. I don't really care about the Terminators anymore. I need to kill these rubrics, so this guy will just come over to see them. This character is good where he is. The Plasma Sight is good where it is. Chronomancer is good where he is. Scarabs are... Sorry, they're just gonna move this way a little bit more. They all just want to be on the objective. They just want to be out of the way of things that also might want to be on the objective.
Yes.
Makes more sense there, like that. Not that one. No, there we go. Okay, guns, I guess. We'll do the locusts first. They're just gonna pump everything into this rubric unit. And we'll they can rule.
Wait, the locusts actually will spend shit, they're a squad of 6.
They are.
Well, I'll spend 3 CP to -1 damage them.
Sure.
Oh, awful.
Yeah, well, whatever it happens.
Yeah, so the rubrics do have that 2+ save against the scarab attack. So if the scarabs push up in there and try to kill them, there's a non-zero chance they don't die. To be fair, though, they will get
Sorry,
overwhelmed
if
by
it
the
doesn't change your
scarabs.
decision making, I'll just put the big gun into this one.
Yeah, same thing.
Well, 2s for the big gun. Try against their destroyers.
Yeah, not too many scarab occults, chat, because the scarab occults have kind of been replaced by Flamers of Tzeentch in a lot of lists.
And 18 shots into rubrics.
Chaos Bond getting removed. Ouch.
Stupid box.
So we do have the 18 Flamers basically take the place of another sort of 1.5 scarab occult units.
AP2, actually, I'm gonna have to do this because not all of them are in cover, unfortunately.
It is, to be fair, only 2 Scorpic Destroyer units, which is
That's real bad then. So
not the
sorry for
3 that we
so
often
you
see.
Could actually kill me in 1 shot, so we have to do this 1 at a time.
1, 2.
Oh, so many scarabs
Run
though.
ahead, roll damage,
Kills him.
kills them. Okay, 4 ups for the rest.
Oh man,
Well, they did well.
Okay then.
big
first
boss on
one
the saving throws and these
Does not, and then the second one will just kill him.
rubrics. Kills
Okay.
2 models.
So I have to kill that guy, and
Okay.
now you can fail your charge. Haha.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
I think I already lost the point though.
there should still be 1 spawn alive.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was 2 rolls you made.
No, it was just 1.
So
giant
if that
screw,
Scarab Swarm fails the charge,
worry.
He was like,
the Chronomancer and Silent King would outnumber, assuming that all the Flamers die. But that's certainly not a given, especially since Silent King only has 6 attacks now that all of his friends are dead. So if the Flamers roll any saves at all, they actually don't go down.
He does not actually. Does he reroll to hit? I can't remember the order he loses abilities, and I think he loses the reroll hits first. Loses Farron of the Stars, which is the reroll hit rolls. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'll just do the first 2. That's a miss. And this one will be the other one.
Yeah, I think
That's
we
a hit, 2 hits.
streamed with
The
4
first
Games Live
one,
in New York. We
3
streamed
hits.
Alex Fennell's army, which was a similar number of Scarab Swarms. I think it was 21
And then this one.
Scarab Swarms rather than 27, but he had the full 18 Scorpic Destroyers. Definitely goes to show you that, man, people love those Scorpic Destroyers. Yeah, Spawn's sticking around. So Silent King's trying to max our code of combat here. I think we were mathing the Necrons at getting an 11 on code of combat. But if Silent King can kill or if one of these units can kill a unit with shooting, we're actually
Barge
gonna
will
get another 3 with
you
that.
-1 damage on them, so yeah, it's actually shooting.
yes.
Shooting is not worth it.
I think the Barge maybe just clips that Chaos Bond.
I will
Oh, but he does want to soften up a character to go
fire
into it.
everything into the Exalted Flamer,
Ooh,
and I will
spicy.
spend a CP for Malevolent Arcing.
Ooh, I love this. So we're gonna use the explosion strat to burst mortal wounds out from from the flamer.
On 2s.
If we get the flamer with the Tesla cannon,
2 3-ups to the Exalted Flamer.
is AOR for Crons better than everything OPSEC? I don't believe so. No. I do think that it's not quite as one-sided as you would think, but I don't think that it's strictly better.
Save him again.
It's really lame. So everything in here. So the rubrics.
I think OPSEC Dynasty Necrons is probably better. But the AOR Necrons is certainly going to be like at worst middle of the road, I think. in my
takes a
opinion.
mortal.
Advancing and charging is on like Scorpex and Ophidians is pretty strong.
Terminators do not, and the Infernal Master does not.
Haha.
He did spend to act a top profile chat for Silent King. It doesn't reawaken his friends though. It only brings his attacks and movement back basically. But once the Pharaons go to sleep, they go to sleep permanently. They don't come back.
Easier to kill the spawn. So yeah, that's fine. The Chronomancer.
Yeah, I mean the Goth rush
Yes.
orcs is like fine. right now. I don't
Yeah,
like
it's,
speed wobble was
I need to
speed
just
wobble
get
was
all
cool,
those
but like I
ones.
don't know if you like you don't really need it.
No, he'll just boop a rubric. That makes more sense. He hits. He wounds. He's strength 8. It's 83, so
Okay.
82.
Ah,
Well,
yes.
so it's a 5 up. And
Take
it does just kill them. Oh, it's a little disappointing, but whatever. Shooting phase is not the greatest thing in the world. You can't see anything. Everybody else shot. Oh, okay, I'll charge you. Chronomancer will charge both flamer units, which I told Overwatch.
Sure, we'll kill him with the bigger one.
Yeah, go for it.
So eating the Overwatch with the Chronomancer here, so Silent King doesn't accidentally die.
What's that? 18.
Tabletop
18,
Takedown. Thanks for the
36.
follows.
Not
Thanks for the follows,
bad.
everyone. Thanks for coming and joining. Hope everyone had a good weekend. It's ready for a good week full of 40k.
Threes, so
For those who don't know, by the way, everybody who's new, we do stream just about every weekday, not Tuesdays, because we stream over on the YouTube channel. Those days, exclamation point YouTube. But we stream just about every weekday, either live gameplay or commentary for 40k.
Zarek will charge.
If you join our Discord, we do have a stream schedule that posts up there, so the schedule of games will get posted. And all the VODs, once they leave Twitch, will go onto our replay YouTube channel, so you can check that out, exclamation point replay in chat. It's youtube.com/TacticalTortoiseTV. Has hundreds of hours of 40k goodness on it, which is all.
3's going to do it regardless. He just basically just wants to come like this to force you to heroic enemy if you want that, but he basically just wants to be within 6 of Zarek for the wound rerolls. Scarabs. We'll charge both flamer units. Mostly because I just want this to be not screw-upable. Well, I think with I think we're good with that.
Big 12 in the charge here.
Yes, this objective's mine. How many models do you have on here right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, so
I
immediately,
have 3, 4,
you've already
5.
got 6 with the
Well, so
or 7 actually.
Yeah, so I'm just going to
Okay.
ensure me holding it, while just having as many of these guys able to hit the 2-man unit as possible, because I want to get rid of them.
Lap scaling, are you talking about my video I did on the LGT rule?
Like, whatever.
The artillery rule?
Alrighty, Zarek makes the flamer and the spawn fight last. Also, I want to put locusts into you. I really don't.
There's a every time I do one of those videos,
They're
it gets
bomb,
very
like I said,
controversial.
so yeah.
The number of people who were like,
Yes.
"This is why 40k tournaments should be banned," or whatever, have been.
Can you get within
Pretty
an
insane.
heroic over with fly? I think.
Oh, I thought you could do fly. He doesn't make it in anyway.
He does make it anyway.
So he'll just take his distance over to there. The Exalted Sword.
Yeah, I know that the I think the actual or part of the reason that they zeroed the scores for the two players in question was that they couldn't agree on the final score. But I do think that part of the time expenditure was like several orders of judge calls about the artillery crew rule.
And try to. Yeah, we couldn't open a hole, could we? Maybe we can. Anyways, hopefully we get a big one. They are going.
Yeah,
to
for sure, chat. Yeah.
Spend 2 CP.
People
minus
like the 40k community really
counter
has like a bug in its bonnet about dropping GTs.
2d6.
But certainly, if you had an experience like that, there
Yeah,
would be
10
no
that'll
reason.
be enough.
So we're using the stratagem to heroically intervene with these scarab occults. It looks like.
So I have to finish a charge move within engagement range of a 1,000 sense character.
Right, this guy's not a. Yep,
not-
yep. I got it. Yep. My
Yeah,
mistake. Gotta get
can't
used to
do
the
that.
next list.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
yep, that'll be your turn. I'll just put the clock on me for a bit.
Would you still like to heroic with your exalted sorcerer?
Yeah, he comes back alive if you hit him. So
I'm
he's
not gonna hit him. It's not worth it. Cool. So all this shit's fighting last. So we'll just go with the barge first. Barge will just hit the exalted flamer because it's the easiest thing to kill. Here's 4 attacks. I'll reroll a miss with the CP if I need to. Yeah, I'll reroll a miss with the CP if I need to. I do not need to. He wounds you on 3s. He rerolls to wound because of Zarek.
Yeah, I'm just speaking anecdotally, chat, but I believe what happened was that
the 3's rule, was he not strength? Strength 6, yep.
yeah, the ruling was made, but they didn't really want to
It's 5 total.
like adhere to it as effectively. So there goes the Exalted Flamer. So we're getting no Code of Combat points scored on for ranged attacks, but we have gotten our 1 for melee. Now Silent King needs to punk this Chaos Spawn to get another kill in melee. That will get us to our 11 on Code of Combat. And because if both of these characters survive, which I think honestly is unlikely, then they will get their big. They have the potential to max.
+4, and he's only strength 5, so no +1 strength this turn. Nope, so that's not wounds, but
Yeah, I agree, chat, for sure.
It's not. Boo. And the other one hits.
It's like a crappy situation, but also, yeah, I don't know. I think that the player personalities like really sort of exacerbated it. So there goes the spawn. So Silent King getting his 4 points.
I don't really need command points. Here's the if there's a miss, it'll be rerolled.
It's really unfortunate because it is,
Apparently not.
it is one game out of,
Those all wound.
but like 700 players x 5 games is
This is 3 damage.
7,000 games. Is that right? Oh no, 350. Yeah, 14,000 games, or 1,400 games, and one game, had these two players who were crappy, and it is unfortunate. But
T4, right?
I think that maybe we just have to enforce better sportsmanship conduct in ITC or UKTC. Although that is, it seems like it's a perennially an issue with UKTC. I don't know what it is about the UK, man, but it seems like the egos get real big over there.
I'll go 4 into these 2, 5 into those 2.
Duncan Rhodes is playing a Song of Ice and Fire and lost every game. A Song of Ice and Fire is a hard game, man.
12 attacks into the.
I've only been to one Song of Ice and Fire tournament, but I went 2-1. I was pretty upset with myself.
4 saves on those 2.
It's a little dicey, and then you have to, being card based, you have to know basically what most of the cards in the game do, and be like playing around them at all times. So there's like so much hidden information; it gets very difficult. Warhammer is the UK's national sport. Yeah, all that advertising prize money, on the line. You have to be crappy to your opponent to win it. Flamer's getting eviscerated by Scarab Swarms here. Both Flamer units alive, but only just. The Scarabocale Terminators looks like have actually survived. Part of that, I think we failed to charge because the Canoptic Wraiths do suffer -2 to charge because of the difficult terrain here. Unfortunately for them, their ability to phase through vertical terrain features doesn't allow them to ignore the rules on those terrain features, so it will still get slowed down. Why is Emperor's Children coming back? People decided they were weaker than Creations of Bile. I think their phase manipulation is better, and it also depends on the terrain you're using. Their shooting is much better. So there's a lot of situations where that makes the difference, right? Where Creations of Bile is 100% melee all the time. Emperor's Children plays a little bit of a worse melee game, but it's very similar, but also has a more flexible game plan. They also have a lot more like tricks. They play trixier. So I think good players are better at operating them.
It's unlikely.
Imagine if Flamers were pistols. Yeah, they used to be pistols, right? Glad they're not anymore.
Total.
Yeah, so 3 in total, so these will be on 5. So the in-ball, take 3 wounds on a Scarab.
Right, and that'll be that.
Cool. So Code of Combat, so I score Treasures of Eons. Code, I killed the character with the barge. Sarah killed the spawn. And feel like he killed something else. Did I kill anything else?
No, he's failed to kill the
Oh, right.
spawn
Right,
and
yeah,
shooting.
but I just needed to get to 12.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, that's
Yep,
fine.
that'll do that easily.
And
And
then-
you put down 1 bomb, which I'll
and
just kill
then-
that because I can't reach.
Yeah, there's
Does that get to 11 or 12?
12 because when I kill a character in melee, it's 5.
Oh, you get an extra one. Okay.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very good
The
secondary.
big duel.
Okay, flip it over to me.
Yeah, it
I'll
wouldn't have
just
been
get
great if he
better, so
died,
do
though,
this
to be
quickly,
fair. So, you know, it is what it is.
if I can set up a bomb, so
Yeah, so Devin
guy
sort of
will-
running away a little bit there. Devin should get an easy 12 his coming turn, unless the Scarab Cults can prevent it, but that looks very, very difficult. He can lock. So the Command Barge should go down to Mortal Wounds. Silent King should go down to Shooting. So we can lock Necrons to a 12 on Code of Combat. They'll max treasures, but they're locked on Ancient Machineries. I don't like that move. Okay, so we're going to Umbrillific Crystal back here and drop a bomb in the Necron deployment zone to try to get primary objective points. No prisoners has not yet been scored for the Thousand Suns, but it should be at least a 12 at the end of the battle. They have to kill the Canoptic Wraiths right now, and they have to prevent these Scarabs from getting into Objective 2, and with that, we do have to keep in mind that they could potentially do a heroic intervention to get closer to the to Objective 2. If we move all the objectives secured off, they could potentially Ancient Machineries it to get 12 there.
Oh, sorry, it's always the sorcerer. It doesn't give you the option on Battle Scribe, but it would always be on the sorcerer, so...
We can go on the sorcerer? I thought I had to be on a rubric.
It just says any model, I'm not sure.
Oh, it's
If
a
so, it would be
CP
on
chat?
the-
Yeah.
I guess it
Yeah,
would
I
matter,
didn't-
yeah.
I had
That's
not
annoying
heard
that Battle
that
Scribe doesn't let you
extra.
choose
I
which to put it
know.
on.
I honestly can't remember.
I don't even know half my rules.
And
Anyways, I don't
so-
even think it'll matter, so I'll just throw the point down just in case, because it would have been, I guess, been on the Soul Reaper cannon if it
Yeah,
can't be on the other
Rubric-
guy.
Yeah, must be a rubric with the Icon of Flame.
Okay.
I did take a wake about them. Look at that.
There we go. I mean, no, because even if I revive it, it won't work. Yeah, so that'll be
you're right,
the
chap.
Command Barge, so this guy will move back so that he's out of deny range.
So the Code of Combat doesn't grant additional VPs for killing characters, it grants a command.
I see. Okay, so that'll be 10, which is
good call,
roughly
chap.
enough.
That was I had never
That's
seen
honestly
that
the first time
scored
I've
up
ever killed a
before.
character in melee for that.
So I think that was interesting. That's pretty cool though. They do have a little bit of CP regen in the Codex. Very nice.
Will try to help finish off.
Good call out.
Oh, do I not have an extra one to stand over here?
Chad's becoming very brutal towards London.
Okay, Armand will just...
I did enjoy my time in London when I was there a couple years ago.
Over here then.
I do agree though, food was not great.
Change castable advance.
English breakfast, solid. Everything else I ate, not amazing.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
But the English do a good English breakfast, as I would hope.
Whatever, that's enough. Doesn't matter after that. He just needs to be able to see him. Okay, this guy pretty much... Oh, were they meant to be engaged here?
Yes, they are. Oh, yeah.
I also had Indian food there, chat, because I love Indian food. I eat a ton of Indian food. Where I'm at, we actually have sort of a big Indian population, so we have some really good Indian places. And I had Indian food while I was in London, and it was awful.
He's transhuman.
And I was shocked because I had heard it was good. And maybe it was just the places I went to, but
They might do something.
I was very surprised.
Actually, I don't think they would have been in range that turn. So.
They should have been.
Okay, then I'll roll the extra one. Doesn't do anything.
I have
anyways.
heard that also, Daily Crossword. Yeah,
I just take a wound.
that old Tikka
Okay, so
masala.
they're there, so they just stay there, and I don't think anything went through.
Oh, did you not wound me?
No, nothing wounded you.
Oh, okay. I thought you wounded me once.
Okay, they'll just hang out there so they can do things. Stay there. Whoops. Let's see if... I guess we're down. We're not.
Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like, Lapscallion. It was like the stuff I got was like very sort of like this kind of saccharine. It was like sweet, as opposed to being spicy. And I was like, I bet like I'm a white guy, right? And they just like they just like made it as mild, like just so mild.
These losers.
And I wonder if that's like a sort of the custom to cater to like a more traditional English palate. I don't know. That was my tinfoil
Potentially,
hat
two
conspiracy
mortals
theory.
Berserk on a very low probability.
Well, in the interest of seeing what could have been,
Yeah.
it wouldn't do anything. That spell doesn't never really do anything.
It's
obviously
just that I have. It's a malediction. That's the only reason
Yeah,
it's there.
just there to pump around the Magnus.
Would have been nice to smite, but of course you had your screen out. So yeah, these guys set up a bomb. Then these guys are just gonna fall back so that we can do. Is there any useful fallbacks I can do? I guess they'll just stand in the way. Guess that's a useful fallback. Stand out in the middle of nowhere. And I think that's it for useful movement phase.
That's a very heartwarming, wholesome
I
story,
did.
Lapscallion. just
Oh,
make
sure,
me
yeah,
some
that's
Thai food. What's your favorite Thai dish, please?
Right, so movement and then
That's very nice.
psychic.
All
So
right.
yeah, we'll just do our action. Can't be denied.
Yeah, so I think the downside here is this push of Scarab Storms from the Necrons should be enough to max them their primary.
The guy in the back.
Fortunately for Alakar, I
He's
think
fine.
we are.
Oh, he's doing it on the barge. I see.
Yeah, the barge.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then we'll have some fun.
I think we are a little bit
Sorcerer.
sad.
He'll
And we do have to
roll
prevent the
back
banners
this
from
so
going
we
down.
live life on the edge.
So Alakar looking at an
Barge,
80 right now.
unless you want to deny.
What'd you get off?
Oh, excuse me. The Wraith dropped a bomb. It looks like, I think is what was they were up to. So an 80 if those two banners get erected or remain
Oh, yeah, I
erected,
believe that's what he had rolled.
and
That's what he said. Yeah.
a bunch more on no prisoners, assuming that he can get it. He does have this entire Scarab unit shooting. We may try to knock Silent King out with a couple of those guns, but we could also just rip a bunch of these Scarab Swarms down
Tzeentch's
to get a ton of
Firestorm.
points.
Tzeentch's Firestorm on a 9, but it's not an unmodified one, so little version.
I have a normal deny as well. So, we still have smites.
We got these guys, we got smites.
But just think, chat, without capitalism, GW wouldn't have to continue to release Space Marine lieutenants, so we would get releases for other armies instead. Wouldn't that be cool?
And we'll spend a point so that he can smite, because he did pretty terribly. That'll be an 8. Do you want to deny?
The change caster can double Screamy. 3.2, yeah, it's on an 8. Yeah, I'll try and deny it. What the hell not? So I need a 9. No, I got CP to burn. May as well.
Nope.
Denied.
Denied.
Ooh.
That was 3 mortal wounds I stopped, wasn't it?
The old
That
CP
is 6 more ones
reroll.
you stopped in total.
The old CP reroll that
Okay, well, change caster will try to
on
put
the deny
change
roll.
on.
Here we
Let's,
go.
do something here.
Sure won't.
And
Oh,
then
man.
he'll. This might even do anything. Well,
We just
Not really
flubbing
doing
our
much.
psychic phase
Yeah,
real
nothing
hard
does
here.
anything
That's
anyways.
unfortunate.
That's the barge.
okay, smite.
That's my number 2, right?
Yeah,
Yep, so you're good then.
3 mortal wounds. There we go. A little late, but we got it. Okay, well, we'll have the Aspiring Sorcerer's Gaze of Hate.
Mm-hmm. Very hateful.
Successful. Actually going to target the barge because we did so terribly. For the love of God, give me 1 mortal wound at least. It gave me 1 mortal wound. And we'll use 4 to add D3 to that, which will be 3, thank goodness.
Hey, the command barge finally going down. No explosion.
Okay. That was costly. I don't think anything else matters at this point.
Just
Don't
use your
move these
lieutenants
guys.
as Bloodguard veterans, chat. That's the
Get 'em on
secret
the point,
technology.
but then you'll just maybe we take it back.
Yeah, but
Shoot
I-
the hell out of that.
Yeah, but I score at the end of my turn.
Yeah. So we'd have to do a lot.
I'm gonna slam a bunch of score packs on there in a second.
Yes. Whatever, we have to try. So Armon will use its double move.
Yep.
Successful. I'll hang out. But you know. Here we go.
Mhm.
And yes, I'm aware. I think they just changed their direction suddenly. Then we'll Weaver. Or do we care about Weaver Fates right now? Nah, we care. So we'll Weaver Fates. With +1 that goes off, and then Presage
Goes off.
goes off. So everything but our +1 to wound. Oh yeah, and Glamour from these guys.
Yep. Goes off.
Successful.
Oh yeah, you're right.
All that on them. Maybe they get super lucky. They gotta kill all these wraiths though first,
Rates are a huge pain in the ass.
and also kill those guys. Oh my goodness! Can't believe we didn't land a single. Okay. If it'll let us, there we go. Shooting phase. So we need to do huge work. Oh wait, no. Before the phase is over. Nope, there's no one left to cast a psychic action, is there? Nope, because these guys set up a bomb.
Yep.
So we'll spend 2 on +1 to wound. When these guys shoot, they will put. Let's see, +1 to wound, but they don't have +1 strength. Whatever, we have to shoot high anyways, so just the missiles into Sark.
Oh,
They can do it, and everything into the wraiths.
that's ballsy.
They got it, don't worry.
Attacks are technically resolved sequentially one at a time. So roll the just.
I'm gonna fire the missiles first.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
but when you come to shooting the race, just 3 at a time until this guy's dead. Because as soon as he dies, -1 hit kicks in.
He can choose to roll to fast roll.
Can he?
Yeah.
Even though
Oh,
it's
you're talking
relevant?
about the. Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about the terrain. Yeah, I don't think that. I think it's all fired at once, so I don't think they can. Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, so
Alright.
he because the weapons have the same profiles, he has to roll each weapon independently, but because he can just choose to fast roll his attacks out immediately, yeah, you don't have to slow roll. It might kick in if
Okay,
one
so-
weapon profile knocks the first guy out.
I
but
see what you're saying. Okay.
Okay, so bolters and Soul Reaper got it, but
Can't
first we're gonna
force
do
your
the
opponent
missiles
to
to
slow
see if we
roll
get
if you
super
want them to.
lucky.
Yep.
They just have the option.
2s with rerolls
And then
so
2.
far, and 2s again. No, I spent all my CP.
On a new model
Ah!
There we go. Just having
for
one
GSC.
good.
So Genestealer did invade a human planet? Oh, I think so. I agree,
could
Chad.
honestly just charge me.
It is a little bit funky that Genestealer is like basically only
So over this, you also have.
are only
Yeah, we had
fighting humans
Slight lass
effectively.
would suck, but yeah, we probably get him in the charge.
It's
It'll
awesome.
be tough.
He's just fine.
That's just how
Oh
it
right,
goes.
it's also turn.
Oof.
I should probably also reveal this thing. Protocol of the Eternal Guardian. Yeah, we'll just do hold steady set to defend. Or like cover fight and move this battle round, which doesn't actually do anything. So this actually be helpful. Fall back and shoot, or plus extra auras.
An orc Genestealer call sounds like pretty wild. Like, how does that even
Listen to
work?
Yeah, the race.
Did you get
Yeah.
strength off?
No, I didn't. So this will be on
Oh, okay.
4s.
Okay.
With the +1 to wound.
Yep.
Of course, we lose everything. That'll just be 12. Well, if we don't kill those, then we have to charge them, and then everything basically falls apart. So, yeah.
Four pinballs.
Oh my god. These saves are brutal, chats. Devin acing out this Scarab Call attack here.
Actually helped me.
And
Choose to
lost
be-
2, and now.
Oh.
Oh wait, are we
No, you're
strength
still
6?
great.
So we actually have.
Yeah.
So actually 7.
Yeah. So
That's your inbound there.
7 four pinballs. Oh, I'm at 1 CP. I'll save the CP for later if I need it. It's just gonna kill another wraith. So you're dead. You're down to 1 or down to 2. Sorry.
I guess that does make sense,
reanimate 2 of
chat,
these
that
bad boys.
orcs would just get rid of ones that don't fit into like the clan culture.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, the bomb. Yeah.
Because they are basically like biological machines, right? So they're just bug fixing at that point. Just remove defective parts from the
Two with-
society.
2 with your big guy. Soul Reaper Cannon.
On Zark?
Yep.
Okay. Takes a wound.
And these guys will fire. Total of 5 bolter equivalents.
Fine.
Nothing.
You would have had real ones. To hit.
Sure.
That's a hit.
Hits
That's a wound.
and wounds
wound.
with 1.
He's fine.
Okay, change caster. I just remembered he had a gun. I'm not sure if he could actually fire it before, but I might have missed one shot with him of that. So he'll fire his 3, miss all of them. Why not?
That's why I got him.
Yeah. So charges. So yeah, now we have to charge these
Yeah,
guys.
you must charge
Basically,
these
can't
guys.
hold the center.
Yeah.
We do need to hit these guys a little so that they don't steal. So that's the way we do this. Force these guys to fall back, which will keep them away from it. So first, these firing sorcerers will go into both of these. Or no, we'll just go into orange because we want to avoid your heroic.
Silent King's a
I'm gonna
jerk.
rescue Inky.
he's gonna
She's
live,
having a, she's
so-
having a conniption.
Is that?
And
Oh,
you're gonna make that charge.
okay. Nothing I can really do. Stay at a 3.
You don't want me to heroic, can you kill the whole unit and then get my code of combat points?
I mean, he'll just do it next turn. So
You have to go for the wraiths.
Exalted Sorcerer will go into the Yellow Swarm.
He sure does.
Stop being dumb. Okay, and fallback will not get you to
Well,
the
not gonna be on
point.
it. Unless they somehow kill him.
Yes.
Which, I mean, is technically possible. Unlike
And these guys can fall back on the point, which means we need to full kill them, which means we can't charge Zarek, which means GG. But
yeah, it's rough.
well,
Well, if you charge Zarek, he just fights last you, and then I get to hit you with
yeah,
pretty much everything.
yeah, they'd sort of be fine with that, but it just doesn't matter with that. So
Kill a few of them.
yeah, we'll just charge the wraiths.
Yeah, that's probably the smart decision.
Would have been nice to get a few more points, but no point in
Actually,
worrying
wait a minute.
about
Why am I
this.
agonizing? I think I just win this pod. Because I can
Yep.
actually lose this game and still win. I just need to score 75 points, and it's guaranteed.
Yes, it was a very unfortunately matched stuff.
Why was I agonizing all this?
Whatever. We'll just throw everyone over there. Sure, one guy will stay back. No, we won't even be able to engage him. Okay, I don't think there's anything useful I can do after that. I guess if they make a long charge, they can get a bunch of OBSEC on there, so...
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
so
a
I think the
offside.
comment is because
Well, you may as well roll the dice. Or is it not?
because of some chicanery, Alakar was coming in. Yeah, we had some drops earlier.
Yeah.
Alakar was coming in X and 1 to this pod.
Okay, everybody goes in.
So all Devin basically needed to do was outscore the next highest player,
Staff.
which was very likely given that he is playing Necrons. Yeah, he needed to get, I think, above 352 points. 352 points in order to confirm it. He has so far done.
27 collections.
Because he started with 278, so all he needed was 74. Yeah, which he will get more then.
And we're...
Because then, worst case scenario, even if he loses with that score, he gets a he gets a 3-1 record, and it goes down to the our victory points as tiebreaker.
Yep.
So here's 10. So it's gonna kill 1, 2, 3,
And they're safe.
and they're safe. Actually, no, they're not safe. I'm gonna make both these.
Oh, right, this. One of them's wounded.
If I fail them both, I might reroll. I don't know. Probably will. No, they're fine. So you gotta die, you gotta die, you gotta die. So that'll be 9 reanimates. I get a Wraith back.
And so now that's unrealistic to cut them down, so we can pretty much call it there, I think.
Yeah,
Points
Alakar,
on
he
deck,
needed
so
to
you
win
fall back
like
there,
big,
take
right?
that point,
Which was
so
probably
you
unlikely.
easily, no matter what, get to your full primary.
So
He
just
did
fall
have, I
back
think that he
here.
had an unscheduled game, round
Down
1,
to
so
no
Alakar was
prisoners.
coming
Would you
in
have
with
wanted to base
pretty
all of
low
it?
on
As if you
I mean,
don't have
pretty
As if you
low
don't have
on
reactions.
his VP score.
So I'm not too
You would have been in combat and fall back, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna go here and just chill.
Yeah.
I don't care if I kill Armon. None of this
yeah,
is relevant.
Armon, yeah, Armon can't
Yeah,
kill
so I
you.
think we're just going to tag out from here, because the rest of the scores don't really matter.
Roll these 2 out for your no prisoners, because if you kill Scarabs, you'll get no prisoner points. You killed
Okay, yep, so we'll do the Exalted Sorcerer.
Well, big payday for everyone who voted for Necrons.
Don't matter too much.
I think everyone a little bit overestimated the Flamers. They had a good profile in this matchup, but didn't get great opportunities to use it. We did see Devin got, I think, pretty lucky here. On that first turn, he had that rerollable 9-inch charge, which is a little bit worse than a coin flip, to get into the Flamer unit, and had to give away his Tomb Blades to do so as well. And then they killed half the unit, and then two shooting activations, the 2 Menhirs and the command barge on here, also killed the remaining 3 of those Flamers, and that was not a good start to the game for Alakar. Do you think that Alakar? I would have liked to have seen Alakar push a little bit harder to try to kill his Catacomb command barge with his Exalted Sorcerer. If he had done that, I think he puts Devin in a really awkward place re-Code of Combat. But obviously, things went a little bit south on that turn, too, with the yellow Canoptic Scarab Swarm surviving and then surviving for the remainder of the game somehow. But that is why people play Scarab Swarms. Their resilience is pretty extreme. No 60 bulk guns?
Like I said,
When would you have spent that, by the way?
really, I just need to kill something for Zark heals, so he gets
Yeah.
his Scythe of whatever back.
Yeah, I think we could just
Yeah, so
give
basically
you that one.
Zark's just gonna go kill the Changecaster for the points.
Yep.
And then probably die, but it doesn't matter. This objective's mine, this objective's mine. You score 1 banner at the end.
Yep, so there
and
goes
you're on.
Devin grabbing his 12 on primary, getting some additional banners points as well. No prisoners ticking up, only 12 scored.
That's it, that's it.
Really kind of crazy that those Canoptic Race didn't go down. I think that would have gotten Alakar pretty close to maxing.
Changecaster,
Gets his Code of Combat, gets his Treasures Beyond. Ancient Machinery should complete, actually, right?
GG.
And there's that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I really count on a defensive playstyle, so when you have those good secondaries. Honestly, I think, I don't know what else you could have chosen for it, but I think Code of Combat was actually a bad choice, just because it kind of forced you to come out. But even
Well,
with
there you
that,
go,
I still think,
chats.
like,
It did,
I could
Go
just
ahead
sit
and
back.
wrap things
But
up. Thanks
the
for hanging out with
problem
me.
with Purge Vermin is that you can just put,
1
like,
million.
a character up here and just make it annoying to get to or something, and then it just like costs me 5 points.
Yes.
Just
Yeah,
eat
it
Vulcan on a
definitely
loop,
worked out
chat.
to make it just- I always think in terms of,
Oh my
like,
God.
if both of us just sit on our home objectives the entire game, how does this play out?
It's
Because I
so
typically
brutal
need my
to listen
opponent to
to.
move forward. Like if you saw, I basically just spent 2 turns sitting there because I really have nothing. My other list, I at least included something to go. This one I
Yeah,
tried to get
I
away with not
figured-
having my trading unit, but
I figured you were going to at least put enough in the middle that I was going to be able to farm Code of Combat between King and the Barge. At least farm it enough.
yeah. And I was trying to avoid that, but the spawn could not take out the swarms, and it was going to be such a close game that even that 2 points there was pretty much probably going to win you. Because I think what I scored now is basically, even in the best case, that's basically what I score. Maybe 1 more for banners. Maybe 3 more on no prisoners. So I guess best case scenario, I was scoring 86. So I had to essentially deny you Code of Combat and extra
Yeah.
primary.
I was a little bit worried that you would just hang back and play super conservatively.
That's what I tried to do, but honestly, yeah, I just had to move at some point once you took that center.
But like the problem is if you don't come out, you don't score big on no prisoners.
Yeah.
And then
So
my primary advantage wins me the game.
yeah. So that's why I had to basically play it right the point where you could come out first in the middle, so I could at least get an activation. Again, the ideal was to actually kill this loser, but it was like a turn behind, so maybe I could have come out a turn earlier, but honestly, I tried to do a little bit with my flamers up here, but honestly, that just failed completely, like, making the charge. Yeah. Hindsight, I could have kept them back, but again, then yeah, I would have not gotten no prisoners because I'm not sending anything forward, etc., etc. So yeah, I think secondaries forced me into hard play, and you played properly, staying back those first 2 turns.
I knew I
And
was
basically, I just ran out of turns towards the end there.
I figured like because if I put the scarabs here, and then you would be forced to bring the terminators out to shoot them, and then I
Yes.
could just charge with squad packs.
And that was 100% what I was trying to negate, at least, or not negate, but at least like mitigate the effectiveness of that.
Which is why I ran my protocols the way I did, so I could have
Yeah.
turns 2 and 3, so I could get the threshers to strength 8.
Mhm.
And then if it got to 4 without you committing something, I figured by that point I was like probably safe.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wouldn't have really mattered anymore.
Yeah, I knew there was the danger of you just scoring more than me if I hung back, but yeah, no, I tried my best, but again, I think you were right. Killing this guy would have been very nice.
Killing him. Well, you needed to kill him and the barge that turn.
Yeah, but
'Cause
as
if
soon as
you
I failed 1 psychic power, it was pretty much a no-go on killing both of them. And
if
then
you had killed him and the barge, that would have cost me 12 code of combats.
yeah,
Then you
pretty
and then
much.
you win by 2, and then I would have been forced to like super try and zone that bomb out, but then that just gives you no prisoners.
Yes. So yeah, I think we both played right, and this is how it ended.
And just a bit of luck swings in my favor really helped things out.
Certain ones, but I think it kind of evened out. I don't know. As I said, maybe if I had 1 more turn, like if I had gone second or something, these Terminators could have done more.
If
Because
you had gone second, I was just going to do ancient machineries with the bikes on turn 1 on this.
yeah. See, that's why I was really hoping to go first. Because I'm like, yeah, if I go second, he's gonna just go off, and then I'm never gonna be able to recover.
And then basically I just shove a scarab unit right here in the middle, right behind this thing, and then
Yeah.
you are forced to commit flamers.
Yep.
But the problem is 1 flamer unit doesn't kill a chronoed scarab brick.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping they'd kill like 3/4 of one, but they couldn't do that either.
But I just need them to live, because then I just
Yes.
primary.
Yeah, that was the big thing. The getting out OPSEC is a big. I don't know. I'm probably gonna retire this list for a bit once the Flamers get nerfed, but after that, I'm just kind of waiting for Zangors to be a viable option because those
They're
guys
actually-
really.
They're actually not bad.
Get that army
Yeah,
renown.
before they buffed the rubrics and gave me Flamers, I was trying to use at least 1 squad, if not 2.
I was running a brick of 20 purely for the Sisters matchup,
Ah, yes.
because it's like the one thing in the T-Suns book that just doesn't die when it gets hit by Repentia.
Yes.
Now they
Either
have
them
a super cool army renown, so
Yeah, but then you like
basically
lose,
S tier unit.
but you lose like the other things that make T-Suns good, and that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not even that's so unviable. Like
Yeah. I know.
right off the bat, the reason I play this army is for my +1 to cast. So
Yeah.
F off.
It's like
And
saying
then not having vengeance, that's like, okay, let's just not have any psychic powers. Yeah, I'll just play a no psychic power. Don't worry, I can still use a few things. I think
It's
one
like-
of my good witchfires.
yeah, it's not a whole lot, but like it's like the Destroyer one. It's really cool. It has some cool stuff in it, but you're not playing this dynasties, and you don't get Silent King. So
Yeah.
Yes.
I think everyone's so used to how powerful Scorpex are with Silent King, but that list doesn't get My Will Be Done or wound rerolls. So those Scorpex are significantly less dangerous than.
I mean,
Scorpex.
you would run the list as Novok probably at that point.
Yep.
So they get like a little bit of extra hitting power from that, but it's not enough.
Right. Sure. Well, thanks, guys. Your scores are in. So, Devin, congratulations on taking it down, and thanks both of you
Thank
for
you.
a sweet game. Yeah, cheers.
Yes. Congratulations. See ya.
Thank you for the game as well, man.
All right. That is it. Let's go find us a channel to raid. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with me. I will be live tomorrow over on the Tactical Tortoise YouTube channel for some Tactical Tuesday. We have Wednesday evening. I'm just going to double check that that date is correct. Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time is going to be the pod 12. No, just kidding. What was I? What pod are we doing later this week? Sorry, pod 15 finals. So that is going to be Wednesday evening. Thursday is going to be something else. I don't think we've decided what Thursday is yet. Thursday might be me playing. Friday is going to be another pod finals. It's going to be sort of closer to normal time, so around 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern. So we have games scheduled all week. It's going to be freaking sick. Thanks everyone for watching and hanging out with me. We're going to go hang out with, let's see. See who's on Warhamsters today. Tabletop Minions is live. There's some painting, chat. If everybody wants actual painting stream. This is all Warhammer Tanked channels. We want to get to Warhammer proper. Man, did the total Warhammer died on viewership? Holy crap! This is like the second or third day in a row I've seen regular Warhammer outpace Total War. Haywo doing AOS leaks. Dr. Rhino. Dr. Rhino hangs out pretty often, so we'll go hang out with them. Our channel here. So. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for chilling with me. I will see you on the YouTube channel tomorrow. Thanks everyone, all the new followers who jumped in, and have a good one.